Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna.
I'm 60BC Action News meteorologist Brittany Boyer with your latest forecast. We have increasing clouds on this Friday. It's also pretty muggy outside, a forecast high of 78. We could see a passing shower throughout the day, but a better chance for that arrives into tonight. So expect a couple of showers tonight, maybe even a rumble of thunder. The low is 65, and it's a wet start to the weekend as a cold front moves through. The high is 70. We'll have periods of rain and falling temperatures into the afternoon.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip for 2-pack, 2 dips for 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
Your home for Villanova basketball is WVAS and WD273D, Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia.
And then the stand on the corner midnight. Trying to get my courage up. What's this long love to dance in the club down to?
Keep it playing, Chump. Keep it playing. Right now, Bob, we're live on Main Street.
Long, long nights. You're my sleep.
Do it to me, Bob.
To that smoky beat.
Where? I don't know. Street. And a good afternoon, everybody. It is a Paint the Town Red Football Friday live on Main Street. Daily Ticket. And Sean Brace Jon Jansen.
Hello.
Sean Bernard back on the ones and twos panicking. I love it. There we go. He nailed it. It's the first time
He did. Let's go, Jansen.
Let's go, Jansen. I love it.
Sounds like you.
Sometimes. All right. Well, look, here we are. Playoff baseball. The home games just got announced for next week on Wednesday and Thursday. If you did not happen to catch that, what is it? An hour ago? Half an hour? We are looking at a 5 and 6 o'clock first pitch. 5 o'clock on Wednesday, 6 o'clock on Thursday. And, of course, we got 2 6:05s coming up tomorrow and on Monday. 1 and 2 in Atlanta, 3 and 4 back in Philly. Once again, 5 p.m., 5:05, and 6:05, just announced, according to MLB. So we're going to talk a ton of playoff baseball. All the series getting started tomorrow. So excited to get back into the flow of things as far as playoff baseball is concerned. You know, we didn't have a game 3, and that was frustrating for us baseball fans, and especially ones that have been hitting on some wagers. Some MLB playoff baseball to watch. Last night, actually had ourselves a decent NFL, and I only say that because it was fun watching Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears operate. DJ Moore had himself a hell of a battle, a hell of a game. 45 fantasy points. You know, by the way, he was on my bench.
Nice. Good job there, Sean.
Yeah, so that's what it is. You don't go to me.
No. You just have a high stakes league with you.
That's not the one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
no,
not the one.
Yeah. Not the one yet.
Don't conflate the two. But here's what last night's game was enjoyable, to say the least. And of course, we got a plenty.
Yeah, we got some late games up too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we got college football coming tonight. 2 good games there. We got a big card to get into. So we are jam-packed as we're broadcasting live on Main Street Manayunk from MyPhilly.House. That's right. Our real estate agent should be yours if you've been paying attention to us here on the family. MyPhilly.House. Come holler at my good friend Colin Good and his team over here, Joe Bogart and company. Once and can be found right here on Main Street in Manayunk. All you got to do is look them up online at MyPhilly.House. You'll see all their properties, staff, gigantic smiles. Nobody does it like MyPhilly.House. All right. Again, last night, Justin Fields, and I saw it today. I wake up, Chris Canny's already trying to trade him to the Atlanta Falcons. Look at the general lead. The general lead coming through. I like it. You don't know nothing about the general lead.
No.
You know what you see. You have no idea what the general lead is. Dukes
Dude,
yeah, that's what it is. And, that was Dukes had. So
yeah, you're old.
Oh man, I had a Dukes of Hazzard sleeping bag. I had a Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Oh,
What?
yeah. Dukes of Hazzard sleeping bag. Dukes of Hazzard. Loved that show. Loved it. Absolutely loved it, dude.
Isn't that a weird thing to love as a kid?
No,
I don't know. Okay.
No, because life was a hell of a lot more simpler back in those days, Jon Jansen.
Was it?
Yes.
Wasn't that not a kid show though? You just like Dukes of Hazzard?
Them Duke boys, Roscoe P. Culture. No, it was. Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. I mean, I think they marketed it towards everybody. It was like a family show, right?
It was okay. I didn't know that.
I was a big time Dukes fan. Yeah, I had it all. And then look, I think the parent or the kids, absolutely, that I grew up with, were fans of that. So I have to look that up a little bit more in detail, though. But those were the days, man. A great show, Jon Jansen. Anyways, back to the football side of things. I wake up this morning and on Get Up, they were trying to trade Justin Fields off of possibly his best start.
Sell high, Brace.
Now here's the question.
He looks good.
Yeah, look, I'm not opposed to anything, especially when you're hosting a talk show in the morning, talking all things sports, right? So I'm not opposed to anything, but why would you do it? It's for Caleb Williams. That's the only thing.
That's the only. If you're going to get the number 1 overall pick, you want Caleb Williams. But what happens if you don't get the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
Then you're left with nothing. And so I think that's trying to think way too far ahead. I think that's trying to think of what you're doing when you get the number 1 overall pick, even though you don't have it yet. Wait. What's the difference? You could trade Justin Field anyway later. I mean, you're not going to get the same value, but it doesn't matter. You got Caleb Williams.
Hey, man, you got to
you're rebuilding anyway.
If you want that number 1 overall pick, you got to lose. And I know that they just won their first game. And they were 0-4. So what? They're 1-5 now, if I'm not mistaken, right? We played 5 games, 4 weeks, or four games,
something like that.
Week 5. So I don't know. I didn't think Canty was far off. I understood his take. And I think the Chicago Bears are in a world of trouble, and they probably should reset and go after a guy like Caleb Williams because he's probably going to be a better quarterback than Justin Fields. Now, is that the answer to all of your problems, though? No. That's the issue.
I mean, it's the start of figuring out your problems. I mean, Caleb Williams is probably going to enter the league as as a prospect quarterback that you would start your franchise with. He'd already be a top 10 quarterback you start your franchise with already, and he's still in college.
It's a beast.
So guy's great, and I mean that's the start of fixing your franchise. They have to do the other things right. They have to get the right GM because they don't have that. They got to get the right coach because they don't have that. Correct. They got to get the right players because they starting to get that, but still don't have that. I mean, it's a lot to fix with Chicago, but the start is this great talented quarterback. With Justin Fields, I don't know. I'm mixed on Justin Fields. I don't think that's somebody that after 3 years going into year 4 that you go all in on or try and continue doing what you're doing. I think this just needs to be, and I think even for him it'd be a good idea, just a hard reset. It's not going to work out in Chicago. It didn't work out. You were up and down through 3 years there. I think it'd be best to move on for both parties. And I don't know where Justin Fields lands. I think he would get another shot if he continues to play somewhat well the way he is now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he'd get another shot somewhere. But I think in Chicago...
I think he'd be successful, too.
I'm still mixed on that. I don't know. I think the talent's there. I think it's absolutely there.
Chicago's a disaster.
It is a disaster. And maybe he does develop in another system.
You know darn well if he had a better coach, he'd be a hell of a lot better quarterback. Come on, that.
He'd be better, but I don't know about a hell of a lot.
You don't think
better.
Andy Reid can win with him?
Andy Reid can win with anybody.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I guess the question always is Daniel Jones has had bad receivers and bad coaches.
That's different, though. Different.
How is that different, though?
Because, Justin Fields actually throws a better ball, number one.
Daniel Jones throws a fine deep ball.
Not on that level. Come on, man.
I mean, I think you see the same things with Daniel Jones that you do Justin Fields, in that he misses things, and that doesn't mean he misses open receivers. That he doesn't fire the ball. He doesn't fire the trigger, pull the trigger when he needs to. Like he's hesitant a lot. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's seeing all the time. Like some of that stuff. I know the system is bad, but even when there is a right play call and a play is there to be made, Justin Fields misses it more often than not. And that's not good. But the thing is, he makes up for it in a lot of ways because he's an amazing talent, because he's got a great arm and he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very much mixed on Fields because he could be in a better situation, but what happens if the same stuff keeps happening and he still misses receivers? And I don't know if the development is more on Chicago or more on him. You know, after 3 years, I think some of it has to be on him. He's got to learn some of this. But on the other hand, if he gets another coaching staff and they're able to at least use him in a better way, you know, does it get better? Yeah. I'm very much mixed. I don't think Justin Fields is a right answer for everyone. I think he needs to be in a perfect situation to, I think, develop. And I think there could be that. But right now in Chicago, that's not it. He's not getting it in Chicago.
All right. Yeah, again, it's just a funny conversation, barroom conversation that just popped up.
I just don't see trading Justin Fields now in the middle of the season. Unless they really feel like they're just going to hit a hard reset and they're going to fire all their coaches and all that, I guess. But
yeah, well, that's what it takes.
I think it's thinking way too far ahead.
It takes that, you know, but you're really signaling to your fan base that the season's over. And that you got to worry about that as far as ownership is concerned, and they got to have a say. But at the end of the day, man, Chicago, how about that? The last time they won a game before last night was back in October of last year. Dude.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wow. You know, that's one of the things that hit me last night when I saw that. And I'm like, man, we're so lucky here. We've had such an amazing run. And from the Phillies' perspective, and
I don't know. It's not been that great through 4 weeks. They're only 4-0, but they haven't really looked that good.
Eagles.
We got to be worried about the Eagles.
Union, you know, it's just we're getting to championships. We're going on runs, playoff runs.
Yeah, can we actually win those championships?
Yeah,
though?
look,
I think it's time. It's great that they're getting there. Got to win one, please. Somebody.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal, as they say.
How would you rank them in terms of who wins the championship? How confident you feel? Let's do that.
I'm really confident in the Phillies.
Okay. More than the Eagles and more than the Union.
The Eagles. The Union, I'm all over the place. And to be honest with you,
I feel weird about the Union too. I mean, they got healthy, or at least they got rested and looked way better against Atlanta on Wednesday. I mean, they looked fantastic. That was a championship caliber team that played at Subaru Park. But still, you know, I'm with you. It's a lot of bad that happened this season.
You didn't tell me these things extend.
Yes. Did you not?
Dude,
I'm over basic function.
I'm over here like
hunchback. Yeah.
My neck is hurting me, man. I'm in pain. We were out late last night.
You're always in pain.
Yeah, well, we had a good time last night.
We did. Yeah. Thank you, Miller Lite.
Yeah, it was great. Great time. We'll talk a little bit more about our event last night at the Trap Tavern, where we hooked up a lucky listener, man. Shout out to Tom. Tom, thank you. Yep, Tom came through. Won the trip. He's going to go catch the birds in D.C., courtesy of Miller Lite. Really cool stuff there. And the Trap Tavern
they were awesome. Shout out to Trap, man. That was great.
Great wings, too. I'm hungry right now.
Yeah, they were good.
The show just kicked off, and I could go for a 10 piece of wings here.
No, I'm feeling popcorn today. I'm going to the movie, so I'm craving popcorn.
The hell you seeing tonight?
I'm seeing The Creator, which is the sci-fi movie from the director of Rogue One. It's gotten some bad reviews, so I'm gonna go and see for myself what I really think of it, because it's unfortunately a movie about AI, and I don't think anybody wants to see that right now.
Allen Iverson?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi movie about Allen Iverson. Yeah. Actually, that sounds like a good idea. And then I'm probably gonna see Dumb Money.
Oh, you're going twofer?
Yeah, I'm definitely going for twofer. But Dumb Money, which is about the GameStop stock.
Dumb Money looks good. Dumb Money looks
really good cast in that. Paul Dano, Seth Rogen, the guy from Parks and Rec. I always forget his name. Ron Swanson.
Yes.
And Pete Davidson's in it.
Paul Dano's a great actor.
And Shailene Woodley.
No idea.
Do you have no idea who she is?
No.
She only dated Aaron Rodgers for like a few months, and everybody talked about it forever.
No idea.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Not whatsoever. Thanks
for your pop culture insight.
Speaking of dating, did you happen to see Mama Kelsey on the Today Show?
Gosh.
Woo!
I had no idea where you're going after.
Very odd.
Yeah, she said.
Very
She's
odd.
like, it was okay.
Like, wow, all right.
It's fine.
It was fine.
I don't think Mama Kelsey's really that much into like you into pop culture. I don't think she really cares.
I think
I don't think sitting next to Taylor Swift is like, oh my gosh, guess who I'm sitting next to? She's like, okay, I'm trying to watch the game. My son's playing.
Then why are you on the Today Show?
Because they asked her, and she would say yes. She's got to hype the New Heights podcast.
I was cracking up though at that.
She's
answer.
now the marketing for the New Heights podcast.
Yeah, that's funny. That answer was if you have no idea what we're talking about, the Mama Kelsey was on the Today Show this morning, and she was asked about Taylor Swift and what she was like in the box when they were hanging out, and she was like, it was all right. Like it was very odd. And
what are you saying? You think Mama Kelsey hates Taylor Swift?
I think Mama Kelsey was just a little nervous. Lights were shining really bright early morning. Today Show, which is,
I mean, she is like just a in the middle of nowhere, Ohio mom.
yes,
You know,
yeah.
I don't think this is going to be her. She's going to really like the bright lights or even care that she's standing next to a famous celebrity. It's just a regular day, just watching her sons play ball, just like she was in Ohio when they were playing Pee Wee. She's just watching her kids play.
Speaking of that,
Who cares?
Speaking of that podcast, you see LeBron James, his thirsty butt, tweet at them going, "Hey man,
that's genius. I should do that.
When could I get on?" Well, look, I
like it was like because you think because I say I'm the king of Ohio and you guys are the kings, like really buttering them up. Good for you, LeBron.
Hey, strike when the iron's hot, right? That's the name of the game.
Wait, is this one step closer to LeBron starting his own podcast?
Oh,
didn't he have a TV show? Actually, never mind. Didn't he have like a Showtime thing?
Bron, you know what Bron's going to do? Bron is, first of all, he's giving out picks again this weekend.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he a tout now?
He is a tout.
He's a tout.
That is so funny. So he's giving up picks again via IG, I think on like noon on Sunday. If I'm not
guarantee
mistaken.
you, every single betting company is trying to get LeBron to spot. Like, just put the
that's-
Twitter handle or whatever in his tweet.
That's
or
where it comes down to. Now he's
he's
gonna get that money.
LeBron's a businessman more than anything. He's not dumb.
No,
he knows how to get money.
No, you're right. Yeah, but it's just like, hey, Bron, could you leave a space for us, please? Like, dude, you dominate. You build schools for children, right? Like, leave the degenerate gambling stuff to us, please. Okay, we're all right in this lane. You stay in yours. And I don't think I could ever say that to LeBron James about anything, but I will for that.
Watch, he ends up being a better tout than both of us.
I'll go head to head with him.
Will you? You want to go head to head with LeBron?
Absolutely.
1-on-1?
I will.
Okay.
At the
You
line.
think LeBron's too scared to take on that challenge?
Well, we'll know his picks. He won't know the challenge. We'll know his picks, and we'll just go head to head. First of all, I would probably fade every one of his picks this weekend.
You know what I would do? This used to
Everyone
be a
would.
segment on another show. That
Because
I really
LeBron is going to bet the teams. He is not
We
going
should just
to
get
bet the
a random person to call in and pick their picks and see if they can beat LeBron. See if they can get more right than LeBron.
Yeah.
Can some random person off the street pick games better than LeBron? Let's ask somebody here at Manayunk. Anyone want to beat LeBron this week?
Can you beat
LeBron?
Yeah. All right. Well, here's what we got.
Because I can't.
Jam-packed show. We got some guys that can beat LeBron that will be joining us here. 335 beef. Ryan Coyle, who was with us last night at the Trap Tavern, having some fun up there. He will join us. Of course, Beef Up Front, the podcast, all things college football and NFL. 335. So we'll get his take on everything as far as the college card is concerned and mix in some NFL because 505, Joe Tanzi wants to join us and he wants nothing but college football talk. But little does Joe know.
We're talking about the Union.
We are talking about the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. NLD.
Why is that? Why are we talking Braves with Joe? What's that reason?
Joe is a Braves fan.
Oh, Joe's a Braves fan.
That's
no way.
Joe's a Braves.
And you know what he told me? We were getting ready to record. We have our own podcast.
Okay.
We have the college football preview.
Yep.
And we were sitting there. We were ready to record.
Yep.
And he tells me, I'm not looking forward to this. So it's like, what are you not looking forward to? The podcast? He's like, no, I'm terrified of the Phillies.
Yeah.
He is absolutely stone cold terrified.
He should be.
Of the Phillies against the Braves.
The Phillies are really set up to win this series again. A lot like what we saw last year. It's similar. It's got that similar vibe again. And I think that, the way this is going
He's
to
already
play,
starting the excuses, by the way, too. He's like, I really wanted Charlie Morton. If Charlie Morton was there, they'd beat the Phillies. Charlie Morton's the difference maker, folks.
No. You got to double up. you got to get another Spencer Strider to beat this Phillies team. Do you think? What do you got? Game one. Game one tomorrow. First of all, DraftKings Sportsbook, where we get the numbers from.
That's
to see if we have some movement right now. 6:07 first pitch. No movement at all. Spencer Strider -205, +170 for Ranger Suarez and the Phillies. 8.5 is your total. No movement in the Rangers and Orioles total. We got to get on that. I got to get on that because I'm going to wager on that tomorrow.
If we're going to go based off of last year and just how the Phillies have won a lot of these series in their playoff run, they win game one a lot of the time. They've won game one in a lot of these.
Spencer Strider.
It's right. It's different because most of the times game one is Zach Wheeler and it's not Ranger Suarez. So it's a little bit tougher, but how can you not be enticed by +170? Like, how can you not be? I know Ranger Suarez hasn't pitched well, but still, Spencer Strider's not been that great either. Spencer Strider's, he's got the strikeout numbers, but what's to say Spencer Strider at this point is any different than Ranger Suarez in terms of quality? I mean, they're both giving up runs. I mean, they're both in the 4s as an ERA. So what's the difference?
I'm looking at, you know what? I'm not wagering on tomorrow night's game. I'm taking the series.
And the Braves have been off. The Braves haven't played.
That's my point. My point is that delay is going to too loud. Oh, okay. It turned out. Yeah. We're live right now, ma'am. Thank you. So yeah, anyways, I would say, look, the Braves for me, I would think I'm not going to touch them as far as the number is concerned for game one. I wouldn't bet it either, but I would definitely look at the series. I'm looking at the series more than anything. And that's what I would skip the price altogether on game one, bet the series.
Bet the series.
Yeah. Bet the series.
I guess skipping game one, I don't know. I'm enticed by that number. I'm enticed by the +170. I'm just enticed by the fact that the Phillies they're rested, but they've played.
Yeah.
The Braves are probably going to be a little bit rusty. You know, I just for everything from last year, Ranger Suarez is the key here because he's been big in these moments, but he hasn't been great this season. So can he live up to at least the moment, at least for 3 or 4 innings?
Yeah.
You know, then you can get your bullpen that hasn't been used. Then you can get the Sanchez. Then you can get some other guys like Orion, I guess, if you want to. But Alvarado, Dominguez haven't pitched all that much. So I don't think it's a bad spot to bet the Phillies. I don't think it's a bad spot, and I don't think it's a bad number. I think -205 is too big of a number for Strider because I think he's great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
I love Strider.
Yeah.
But I think he is overvalued a bit in this spot. And who knows how long he lasts? Could he go 4 or 5 innings? And then you get to a bad Braves bullpen. So you go on +170 for Strider to probably get yanked early and then go into a Braves bullpen that's not good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's an overvalue for a playoff game.
I like it. You got me believing. Like I said, I'll probably just take the series, enjoy, kick back, and get it to home, get it to Citizens Bank Park, and probably get a little bit more involved. But game one, I'm okay with just hanging out, enjoying the game. Spencer Strider's nasty, and he pitches well against the Phillies, especially down there.
He is nasty, but he can be hit. It's not like he's unhittable. He can be hit.
Yeah. All right, we are live on Main Street in Manayunk. We just got yelled at. Turn it down, Jansen.
Sorry.
Is it loud?
I'm always loud.
No, we're good now.
All right. I turned it down.
Okay, good. I don't know. I can't hear. I got headphones on. But he's like, yo, turn it down. I'm like, all right, yo, we're live. I don't know what's going on. All right.
Of course you got us yelled at, Brace.
I didn't do anything.
Typical of you.
I'm good. I behave.
Always. You behave. Get out of here. That's not what happened last night. You were interrupting the Quizzo game happening.
Dude, that Quizzo game. Oof. My man was awesome. His questions were really detailed, but if you weren't invested in that Quizzo, man, I don't know how. Like, if you weren't going there, well, that's the thing. You build up the audience, and they know what to expect as you're walking in, right? Over the weeks. But his questions were really tough, old school, like 60s, 70s stuff. And I'm just like, dang.
Got to play to the crowd. Well, how old was the crowd?
Yeah, you got to play to the crowd.
Was it younger? If it's a younger crowd, well, you got to go to,
like I said,
a younger question.
You know, he knows building up his audience.
There's apparently a science to being a Quizzo host. Because you figured that out from what you told us yesterday.
That's true. Yeah.
You were a Quizzo host, then you went to a college town.
I was
tried to do Quizzo, and they said, "Hey, what are you doing, old man, with these questions? What are you doing?"
Yeah, that was funny. I told that story yesterday. We will talk a little bit more about last night. And once again, shout out to Miller Lite for hooking it up and Trap Tavern for having us out there. And speaking of last night, Ryan Coyle for Beef Up Front. He's going to join us on the other side. We'll talk all things college football with him, mixing his thoughts as far as NFL is concerned as well. Last night, the Bears, I just felt like they were going to score some points and make life a little bit difficult for DC. I didn't think that they were going to go down there and come away with the victory. That's for sure. And man, they did. They looked really good. But I think a combination of a number of things, right? Thursday Night Football, we know it's not the best. Obviously, those two defenses are lacking as well. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, when I saw the number, the only thing that jumped at me was the team total for the Bears. I never thought anything.
It was low.
Yeah, it was really low. It was 19.5. And they hit it in the first half, and that was a dub. But as far as I'm concerned, with them winning outright on the road and getting that first dub, I didn't see that. So that was exciting. And I'm glad that Josh Harris and company had to experience that last night on Thursday Night Football.
I mean, they almost made a great comeback. So I'll give them some credit there. But I mean, their problem is their defense lacks talent in the secondary.
Yeah.
They're getting beat one-on-one very easily. The Eagles did it, and now the Bears did it, which when the Bears do it, it's a little bit different. And then also Jack Del Rio's scheme is just not good.
Yeah.
I mean, doing a lot of confusing things and just getting beat bad. So I look, this is more of a Ron Rivera thing because he said he didn't want to make any changes. You have to know your defense is brutal and it needs to be changed. Your offense is doing well. Like I thought offensively in the second half, they finally got things together. Short week, things are going to happen in the first half sometimes. They couldn't get anything going. Sam Howell looked great, but defensively they couldn't stop Chicago. It's all down to Jack Del Rio, to be quite honest. And Del Rio's been bad now for 2 years in Washington.
Well, that was an interesting game on a Thursday night, and I know that we talked about if they play that game on Sunday, what would be the result. I saw some other people floating that around this morning as well, kind of where my mind was at. But, hey, look, games played, no excuses, all right? And got to give credit to Chicago for doing what they did. Did not see the outright, but glad we were able to get on the right side with that team total. And, oh, by the way, I'll tell you what, that game, maybe we should have spent a little bit more time on it because there were some big parlays that paid out. I saw
a few.
I saw some tickets on my line. I'm talking about $25 turning into $8,000 on Justin Fields, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, a lot of alt props.
Yeah, I mean, just like next level stuff. And shout out to anybody that cashed, but I did.
Yeah, that's just great looking forward. That maybe that line was an overvalue, a way overvalue for Washington.
Yeah,
I mean it's a little hard sometimes to guess that because they just played the Eagles.
Yeah.
And so if they played well against the Eagles, but there were a lot of issues there at Chicago. I mean, 4 touchdowns with Justin Fields. So maybe that was one of those games you kind of look at. Maybe are we looking too hard into Washington being good, Chicago being that bad, and we completely got that on Thursday night.
All right, we are live on Main Street, Manayunk, from MyPhilly.House. It's MyPhilly.House, real estate company that gets the job done. Whether you're buying, selling, flipping, just have general real estate questions, hit up our friends over here at MyPhilly.House. If you got gambling questions, whether it's college or NFL, we got beef coming up on the other side. Ryan Coyle going to join us. Let's talk about the card, college, and football. Other side. Don't go there. More after this.
Get unlimited wireless from Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. Learn more at boostinfinite.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
We jam on the Schuylkill westbound University to Warden Boulevard to Belmont. Eastbound Slope Blue Ridge to Belmont. Montgomery Drive to South. Vine Expressway headed both ways. Schuylkill to Broad. 95 northbound back to Allegheny to Bridge. Southbound to Liberty Park to the Commodore Barry. All right, to tell total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for the power, performance, and reliability of a new Superstart battery. Visit O'Reillyauto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate. the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Here on MSNBC, we are staying on top of several
but I definitely like Kentucky plus that 14.5 this week.
Yeah, another SEC game I'm really interested in is because LSU's defense has been struggling at times. Offense looks good. Jane Daniels looks great, but this Brian Kelly team just seems a little bit off. And now they're on the road after a loss to Ole Miss, on the road taking on Missouri. They're 5.5-point favorites. Missouri's been a bit of a surprise this year. Big win against Kansas State. Can Brady cook against that LSU defense?
Yeah, 2 plays I like in this one. I do like Mizzou plus the 5.5, and I like the over in this game as well. It's weird with this LSU team because they have future high-level or high-round draft picks in the NFL littered all over this defense, and they haven't been able to really stop anyone this year except Mississippi State. I mean, we saw Florida State give it to them. We saw Ole Miss last week. We saw Arkansas put up a bunch of points on them. And this Missouri team, like you're saying, Jansen, this is a team that is really surprising this year. I think Eli Drakowitz came into the year on the hot seat, and he's really found a nice groove with this Missouri team this year. They win this game. LSU has 3 losses before the second week of October, and Brian Kelly's seat, it might be getting hot. I mean, we saw what they did to Ed O after winning a national title. The LSU, I think they're in a bit of desperation mode this week, but at the same time, when you look at Missouri, they have a golden opportunity here to move to 6-0, really ignite the program. And a few years back, they played Georgia down to the wire when they were undefeated late in the season. I think that the Mizzou fans come ready in this one, and I think this is a close game. And I do think Mizzou has a chance to pull out an outright upset here as well.
All right, Beef, what about tonight's games? Anything for you in Kansas State, Oklahoma State, or Nebraska? Illinois at home, 3-point favorite there, 42.5. Jansen, I believe, likes Illinois in that
I
one.
am on Illinois. Holding my nose for that one, but yes, I like the alignment.
Kansas State and Oklahoma State, the Wildcats of K-State are 11.5-point road favorites. 53 is your total. Both games in the evening, 7:30 and 8 p.m. Beef, where do you stand on either one of those games?
I think the last 3 weeks I've gone 2-0 on my Friday night play. So I'm hoping to stay. I've got the under in both games. 53.5, I got it for the Kansas State game, and then under 43 in the Illinois-Nebraska game. I'm not sure if you might have saw it on social media this week, but Matt Rule had a press conference this week, and he really kind of just lit into, we're a defensive team. We know that. He told the entire press, like, we know our offense is not that good. We know we're going to have to play low-scoring games and win with defense. So I think that's just something that has been emphasized in practice the entire week, and we know Illinois isn't exactly world beaters on offense either. So I'm expecting that one to be pretty similar to that Minnesota game that we saw in week 1. I think the final was like 13-10. So I really like the under there. And then I just think K-State is a much better team than this Oklahoma State team. I could see them covering that game as well. But I don't really think Oklahoma State's going to be able to move the ball that well. They don't have that high-power offense that we've been used to seeing under Mike Gundy. So I like the under in both of these games. Friday nights, they're always the kind of weird game, so I tend to lead to the unders on these.
All right, how about we just get to the biggest game? We've been going far too long without it. The Red River rival with Oklahoma and Texas. I'm starting to see some, and I think you as well, looking at the upset here for Oklahoma. So I'll just stick with the Oklahoma side. We know about Texas, Quinn Ewers, Sarkisian, a lot of expectations, doing very well, beat Alabama, and defensively they've been really good too. Alabama was a big test, but this is your rival. This is a game that can be tough for them, even though they won 49-0 last year. Why do you like Oklahoma? What have you seen from Oklahoma coming to Texas and end up winning?
Yeah, so the thing with this is it's a neutral site game. So I think that you kind of throw out the home field advantage or whatever out the window. And I just think this is the game. It's easy to say that they've had circled because it's a rivalry game, but it's your biggest rival, and they beat you last year 49-0. This was probably the thing that was seared into their mind the entire offseason, just as is Ohio State was doing with the Michigan game. Like, this is the game that they've worked their entire offseason for. And Oklahoma has been really dominant. So is Texas throughout the early stretch of the season. But Oklahoma, I believe, is one of only 10 teams that has a perfect 5-0 against the spread. So if you don't believe in the pull in the outright upset, I definitely think they keep it close. They won every game this year by 14 points. And Texas, like, they've impressed, but they really haven't lit the world on fire on offense. They've been really good on the defensive side. That's where I've been more impressed with them. And this Oklahoma team, is kind of built the same way. Dylan Gabriel and that offense can go up and put out a lot of points. We saw 73-0 against Arkansas State. But they can also play in a lower scoring. So I also really like the under in this one. But I think Oklahoma is going to keep it close. I think this is a big game for the program, especially heading into the SEC. Want to create too big of a gap right now between you and Texas, and I think this is one of those games that can kind of close. And I've been on the record saying Texas will have a slip up at some point, and this is by far the toughest game left on their schedule. So I do think Oklahoma will not be outright upset, but if you want to play it safe, you get 5.5 or 6. I like either of those plays, obviously, too.
Riding with you on that one, Beef, right there. Me and you. Sooner Boomer train. Let's go. Boomer Sooner train. There you go. Let's go.
On Boomer.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and keep it on the college card. And Maryland and Ohio State. That's another one that's speaking to me a little bit from the Dogs' perspective. Maryland plays Ohio State tough, not so much in Columbus, and that's where this game's going down. But 19.5, Maryland's played well this year. Good quarterback play, can sling it. I don't know. Am I supposed to be really impressed with Ohio State to the point that they're going to win by 3 touchdowns? Where do you stand on this game?
So, I mean, we're also not exactly in that spot next week, but that Penn State game is looming, and it could be one of those things where, Ohio State's already got that Notre Dame game out of the way. They're now starting to focus on that. I agree with you. Maryland has historically played them tough. For this one, my play is going to be the over. I got it at 57.5. I do think this Maryland team can go out and sling the ball in the yard a little bit. The spread just worries me. I think there's a reason that it's all the way up there at 3 touchdowns to the point where it's like, all right, maybe they do go out there and handle this one. But I do think Maryland still is going to be able to score some points in this ball game. So I do like the over, but it's a weird spread for me. So on that side, I have to stay away.
So I want to go with a bit of a game that everybody's going to have their eyes on, I would say. Top 25 teams. Still, Colorado is on the road taking on Arizona State. I don't think Arizona State's any good. Coach Prime's team has gone through a couple of really rough games. Is it time to jump back on the Coach Prime Colorado Buffalo bandwagon and take Colorado here? Because I think I love this one.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night a little bit. I got Colorado definitely covering this one. I think this is one of the games where Colorado puts their foot on the gas for the entire 60 minutes, and we score. Go out there and put up like a 400-yard, 4 or 5 touchdown type performance. I think this one has a chance to get ugly because it's one of those games where Colorado was on the bad end of one of these losses against Oregon. Now I think it's time to try to get this back. This was also one of the games coming into the year where all right, Colorado's going to get that season total wins of over 2.5. This is one of the games they're going to have to get. I think far and away, Sugar Sanders is going to be the best player on the field in this game. And we saw what he did, even if it's a bad USC defense, that's still a top 10 team. That Oregon game, I think, was more so a bit of an outlier. I think he's going to have more performances like he does the rest of this season compared to that one. So I definitely like Colorado to win this game. I can see them winning by double digits here.
All right, let's talk about the Irish and Louisville. I've seen some people calling for the upset outright here. Louisville at home catching 6, plus 195. This game is going up at 7:30, plus 195 on the money line for Louisville. Minus 238 for the Irish. 53.5 is your total on that one, man. Your thoughts? Because I actually would side with Louisville a little bit here, and I'm kind of liking that under on 53.5 as well.
Yeah, typically I really like the home dogs. That's where I tend to find a lot of my outright money line upset winners. But in this circumstance, I'm actually going to go with Notre Dame. They showed me a lot last week. I know they played the Greece game against Duke, but they had a lot of stuff going against them. They needed to drive the entire length of the field to win that game. Coming off a soul-crushing loss to Ohio State the week before, and for them to be able to bounce back, that really impressed me. This Louisville team hasn't really played much yet either. And this is a very, very old and experienced Notre Dame team. I don't think they're rattled by the environment. Sam Hartman's gone and played at Louisville before. And I do think that they're going to be able to push them around up front. And Audrey Destiny is going to have a really nice day on the ground in this one. So I did wind up taking Notre Dame to cover, and I took the under. Notre Dame's been playing in some lower scoring games. I'm looking at this one as more like a 31-21. So Notre Dame covers that spread. and the under just sits there.
All right. Any other games on the card that we didn't discuss here that you like for tomorrow?
My favorite play of the day is actually the over in the Ole Miss Arkansas game. It's only 63 what I got it at. Ole Miss, we saw them last week go out there and put up 55 themselves. Arkansas a few weeks back had a really high scoring affair against LSU. And then the 3 home games that Ole Miss has had this year, the average points in that one is 85. Arkansas's 7 of their last games have gone over the projected point total. And then the last 2 times that these 2 teams have met up, it has gone well over 63 as well. So I really like the over in that one. I think Jackson Dart is going to continue to play well after that slip up against Alabama. And I think we're going to see 75 to 80 points in that game. I think 63 is way too low.
Ooh, all right. Well, that's definitely a game that has my attention, and we'll see if that's the right play or not. And of course, we're all about winning plays here on the Gambler. So good luck to you, Ryan, and we'll be checking out Beef Up Front for all the latest as far as all the NFL and college football is concerned. Beef Up Front. Ryan and I will be back next week covering all things college football. He's on his way to Scranton, my home away from home.
Why?
Yeah, why are you heading up north?
Got homecoming weekend. Got to go dominate the old stomping grounds.
Nice.
Sounds horrible. I would never want to dominate the old stomping grounds. What is this, high school? High school?
Yeah. Take it. Hey, man, enjoy it. Safe travels, and we'll catch up after the weekend.
All right, thanks, guys. Go Phils.
You the man.
Have you ever done that, Brace? Go to Scranton to dominate the old stomping ground?
No, not necessarily. No, I haven't been up there in a minute. I haven't been up there in quite some time. But I got plenty of family, and actually,
You don't see.
Yeah,
Apparently, you just told us now.
They come down here. They're always down here.
Well, see, because it's a better place. Why would you want to go there? Why would I want to go to my hometown where I'm at better?
It's
okay, sure. Yeah. Better than this?
No.
Okay.
There's a lot more to do here.
Okay. You think so? Come on, man. We don't have to lie about these things. It's okay.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll have Joe Danzy. Of course, we'll continue with all things college football, mix it in with some NFL and some MLB talk, as well as the playoffs return back tomorrow. Let's get these series started. On the other side, I'd like to revisit those prices, talk a little bit about as far as the numbers moving, if we've had any movement in the series prices, all courtesy over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Once again, just to let you know, Phillies are dogs in game 1 against Spencer Strider. And big dog. Jansen says he likes the Bills. Made a nice case for him. Let's talk about the series and see if we can do it for the other teams that will be in action tomorrow. We are live on Main Street in Manayunk. Once again, MyPhilly.House, active Main Street here in Manayunk. Gorgeous day. I mean, it is nice and cool.
It's a little hot.
A little overcast.
It's a little hot. I don't know. It's a little humid. Feels sticky out here. It's a little hot. I wish it was cooler.
This is great.
I wish it was more in like the 70s.
It's coming.
Oh, I know. Oh, see, now we got a gust of wind. That feels great.
It's going to be actually raining.
It's kind of hot out here.
Raining on Saturday. Maybe not on Sunday, but raining on Saturday.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
Yeah. So a little college football, Major League Baseball. Stay home and enjoy it. Look at my man Devon Givens. What up, D? Hey, don't go to our daily ticket. We're live on Main Street. Back after this.
Getting you ready for all of the weekend's action. It's sports here, there, and everywhere with Dick Girardi and Mike Kern live from the Parks Casino Sportsbook.
And this Lillard trade is just another example of, and a huge example of this, of the East continuing
Who's hot, who not? Tell me who rock, who sell out in the stores. You tell me who flop, who cop the blue drop, who jewels got blocks, who mostly Gucci down to the blue drop. The same old pimp, Mace, you know ain't nothing changed but my limp. Can't stop till I see my name on the blimp.
A little bit of everything right here on a Paint It Red Football Friday, Main Street Manayunk. And we just saw a good friend, Devon Givens, who his name has been in the media, in the gossip columns for a long time. And former coworker of mine, him and I we came up through the ranks, man. I think he was even before me, which is crazy to say.
Probably better than you too, you know.
Well, Devon's my guy.
He's
man.
great.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and really excited about that new opportunity for those guys, especially.
I always felt like a good calm voice with all the Sixers stuff.
Yes,
like very, very good calm voice.
Great team over there.
Because it's easy to drive yourself mad, which I'll give credit to Sean Bernard, our producer in studio too. There's very easy reason to drive yourself mad and go nuts. And Bernard's still level-headed with it a little bit.
I try.
I'm not.
PHLY Sports.
Yeah.
It's not
Thanks, Bernard.
Philly Sports. It's PHLY Sports. That's what they're calling it. So you got Jamie over there, the bro, and, Kyle Newbeck, Bodner, a great cast, including Larry Henry Jr.'s over there.
Yeah,
too.
my guy Larry.
Talking
Good
some
stuff.
union, man. So they got a good roster, good people over there. And the one thing I told Devon, I said, man, I'll tell you what, the cool thing about this was once you left the other radio station, I said, at least you can now come on our show. And he's like, absolutely. So definitely will be on the show and when basketball season gets here, which is right around the corner. All right, let's talk some MLB. Once again, MLB playoffs getting going again tomorrow. 1:05 first pitch.
2 days without baseball. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. And it was
during the play. I mean, the playoffs have started, and we've gone without baseball.
1:05 first pitch with the Rangers and Orioles. And the Orioles right now are sitting as a -142 favorite, +120 for the Rangers. DraftKings Sportsbook 8 is your total there. Game being played in Baltimore. Again, we were split on this in the studio yesterday, where to the point that we made a little bit of a friendly wager, a little friendly food wager. Baltimore wins, we're going to have some seafood. If Texas wins, we're going to get some barbecue going. But I just think this is going to be an awesome, awesome series with a lot of runs. I'm leaning towards the home squad, but I'll tell you what, I want to see how this one looks because the Rangers
definitely
made me a believer in Tampa. And when they were extremely comfortable, I said, well, you know what, let me back them. And I did in game 2.
Well,
So if they have that look again, I would probably fire on them again as dogs.
And I keep making these parallels to them and the Phillies because that's what they remind me of. They remind me of the Phillies kind of backed their way into the playoffs, a team that spent so much money, had the expectation to get there, but you weren't just sure because, they were trying to overspend on players just to make sure they had a roster good enough to get to the playoffs. They backed their way in, essentially. They get one of the last spots. They get the last spot, I think. Second to last spot. So they backed their way into the playoffs. It should have won the division. And here is Tampa Bay fumbling all over the place. They looked horrible and gave Texas an easy confidence boost. Like, that's exactly what happened to the Phillies in St. Louis. Phillies didn't play well game 1. They didn't play well at all. And here comes their closer and could not get anybody out. Walked a bunch of guys, gave the Phillies confidence. The Phillies win game 2. And all that confidence led them to beat the Braves, the Padres, and get to the World Series. Without that, obviously they don't win the wild card, but I mean, it's such a big confidence boost when they are given at least a couple of games, and Tampa Bay certainly gave them that. And now this really good roster has the confidence going into Baltimore, who is hurting right now. Like, I don't think there's any way around that. Their pitching is hurting, especially their bullpen. And Texas now is on an even playing field with them. They're on an even playing field, I think, with their offense. Their bullpen's bad too in Texas, but it's the same thing in Baltimore. It's an even playing field, and Texas has confidence now. So I think, why not Texas in a series like this?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But the total coming in at 8 is really intriguing to me. I think we're going to see some fireworks in this game.
I see a lot of runs in this series because as much as Baltimore's lineup is great, Texas is just as good. If you take a look at the full season stats, obviously – full picture doesn't mean too much. It's a 162-game season. Things change. Injuries happen. Second half is always different than the first half. But still, you take a look at the full picture. that Texas lineup is third only to the Dodgers and the Braves. Like, this is one of the best lineups in baseball that always hasn't looked like it at times. So I think they can compete on this stage. I think their lineup is as good and can beat Baltimore. So I like Texas in the series. I do. I think, especially because Baltimore is coming in with a lot of fanfare. I think everybody's pulling for them because they're such a fun team to root for. And Baltimore's an easy city to root for as well. So I think it's going to be a lot of Baltimore backing here. And Texas is just going to, again, sneak by and end up winning this series.
I'm going full bore. Team total 3.5 both sides. I'm taking the over on 8. I'm going nothing but runs, man. Nothing but runs. And look, it's the first game out the shoot. I feel more passionate about this game than any college football game.
Ooh, I don't know. I'm just always worried in the playoffs that things get tight. Now, the good thing for you is, and again, what I would probably do, and look, if they're run scored, you're going to lose this. But both starting pitchers are pretty good that are going to be pitching in that game. So maybe wait 2, 3, 4 innings. And then once you get to these absolutely horrendous bullpens, start firing away on that total, because their bullpens are that bad.
But I don't
because
think
an easy under can easily go from an under to an over right away.
I don't think it will get any lower, though.
Oh, I think during the game, if it's 3, 4 innings with no runs, it's probably going to go down to about 6 or 5.
Oof. Man, that's rolling.
I just know what I am betting on if I'm betting it over in that game is bullpens. That's what I'm betting on. I'm betting on both bullpens to be an absolute disaster. Now, Texas wasn't too much of a disaster, but again, that was Tampa Bay Rays just being Tampa Bay. The longest scoring drought in postseason history, I think, with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all Rays. That's not really Texas bullpen. So if I'm betting the over, I'm betting bullpen. So I would want to bet until we get to those bullpens for that.
Baltimore with a week off. Of course, their last game was on October the 1st.
How much are you taking that into account with the game ones?
Well, you have
for Baltimore and Atlanta especially.
You have to, but I think these teams know what they're up against, and they're able to at least, get those team, I don't know what the word is for it, but like the team games where you get them out there.
The simulated games.
Simulating, there you go. Simulated games.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a long night last night. We're live on Main Street in Manayunk, having some fun here at MyPhilly.House.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, we are the Road Warriors. I'll tell you.
Is that what you're calling us, the Road Warriors?
Yeah, Road Warriors. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling it too, man.
Why? How are you feeling it? What's wrong with you?
It was a long week.
Well, because didn't you have a concert or something too? What else did you go out for?
Last Friday. Yeah, I've been on the move. Yeah, last Friday we went to Hosier. It was great. My wife's gonna go check out. She's gonna go check out.
Well, you went to the Phillies game on Wednesday. That's where you went to. So you went to a Phillies game Wednesday. You were out late Thursday night over at Trap Tavern,
correct?
Which is not an easy drive.
Correct.
It's a little bit of a hike out there.
Yeah.
And then now you're out at Main Street, bright and early.
So the Baltimore Orioles were last on October 1st. That was the last time that they played. So they got 5 days off here, and they had a 4-game series against the Boston Red Sox. Again, not too much scoring, but they had things wrapped up, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they were up against the Rays. The Rays were right there with them. They finished with 99 wins.
Yep. It was close.
So, yeah.
The AL East race was very close.
So now we are looking at 5 days off and whether or not we believe that these numbers it might be a little bit different. But again, one thing we know about this lineup from Baltimore's side, putting Texas to the side, they can mash. They can mash and they can score a bunch of runs. So,
yeah, can they do that though? As a young team in the playoffs, that scares me a little bit too. I mean, it's a very young team that Baltimore hasn't been to a lot of postseason series. They haven't won this many games. Now, that's the thing. They won 101 games this year. They've been battle tested. They've had a great year, so maybe the experience does help out. But I mean, it's a different beast when you get into the playoffs. It's one thing to do it in the regular season, win as many games as you did, and become that great team. But playoffs are different. And they're going to have to raise their game up to another level, especially because now it's not that they're not playing their best baseball, but they don't have their full roster.
Yep.
They don't have everything available to them. So it's going to be tough.
Series price -115. That tells you a lot there. -115, Baltimore favored, best 3 out of 5 here. -105 for the Rangers. That is really tight. And it's tight for a reason. So I look at Baltimore and and Texas has just knock them down type of drag them out. Game one. Look, we'll get the vibe. We'll get the feel after that. But I would be shocked if this isn't a 5-4, 6-4 final score. Like I'm talking double-digit total at the end. Both teams over team total. I know the juices are going to be flowing for Baltimore, and that could work to my favor. That could work if you're if you're going to back the Rangers. That could even
same thing for the Phillies last year.
Yeah,
just you get the hometown juices. The excitement of it. The atmosphere is going to be awesome in Camden Yards. Like I cannot wait to see that ballpark because it's an historical ballpark and a historically pretty good, decent baseball franchise that is fun to watch, and that's a very good fan base when Baltimore Orioles are good. So I'm excited for that. But the other thing we got to take into account for, because I keep mentioning the parallels between Texas and the Phillies.
Yeah.
Like Texas has, I know Baltimore's good. Texas has the best player in this entire series. Corey Seager's the best player in this entire series.
He's a stud, man.
Seager finished the year. Now, he was out for a good amount of time, but he ended up playing, I think, the last 3 months of the season. He finished with a 1.013 OPS.
Mm-hmm.
That's second in Major League Baseball. He finished with the 5th best average. He's tied for 27th in RBIs, tied for 16th in home runs. This guy is one of the best players in baseball. And in that series against Tampa Bay, he finished with a 1.475 OPS and had 3 doubles in 2 games, excuse me. If this guy is going to mash, yeah, he's the anchor. He is absolutely the anchor to this lineup that even the Orioles have great talent. I mean, Santander, Rutschman, Henderson, a bunch of amazing talent.
Yeah.
But they don't have Corey Seager. Corey Seager is the best player. And if he's playing like this, he can absolutely carry them in this series. The same way Bryce Harper did.
Plus, they had some big-name hitters come through and stay hot, get hot, whatever which way you want to say it.
Yeah, they did.
And Garcia's one of those guys that can go yards, so maybe you mix that in there. Bradish is getting the start, 12-7 on the season, 2.83 ERA. He was 3rd in American League with that 2.83 mark. And it is looking like Grayson Rodriguez will get the Game 2 start.
Ew.
You don't like that, huh?
I was kind of hoping it'd be Montgomery because there was enough rest to do that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Phillies aren't probably going to pitch Wheeler in Game 1 because they want to give him the extra day. So I get it. It's just, I don't know. Game 1, you have a chance here against a young Baltimore team to probably go up 1-0 if you throw out one of your best pitchers. But we'll see.
Yep.
I don't know. I would have liked to see Montgomery out there.
Divisional rounds, Stros and Twins, -160 for the Astros. Twins +135. I think they're a live dog here, and I said that yesterday on the show. And the reason why I believe that is because Houston, we pull that number up. I believe they were under 500 at home.
Were they really?
Yes.
It's a horrible number.
It's either they were 500 or they were under 500.
Yeah.
One or the other. Let me pull that up real quick. Get that. So, look, they're opening up at home, of course, and then Minnesota has a real deal home field advantage. So I'm looking at that, and I think I'm going to play the numbers on that one and just roll with the Minnesota Twins, catch some plus money there, and enjoy the series.
I just don't trust the Houston offense, and I'm impressed. I mean, I thought Minnesota's pitching would win them a wild card series because they were the one team in the AL Central that, they're in a bad division. So whoever wins, it was an excellent wild card race too, right? Wild card race that had a bunch of great teams in it, a bunch of American League East teams that were great, that couldn't get to the top of their division, obviously, because Baltimore was so good. So it was just kind of, Minnesota's just going to lose to one of those teams. But I always thought Minnesota was a bit of a dangerous team in the postseason because of their pitching. And they were lights out against Toronto, the Blue Jays. So that pitching to me is a weapon. And that could certainly win them this series against Houston. Houston's pitching is good. We were talking about this, who's the best 1-2 punch. In most years, Verlander and Valdez are probably the best 1-2 punch, and I would even have Christian Javier because I thought Javier in the postseason against the Phillies last year was awesome against them. But they haven't been great this year, and Houston's lineup hasn't been themselves this year. So this is Houston legitimately in a down year. This isn't Houston, not the best team in baseball, but still playing very well. This is Houston as having a down year. A lot of guys aren't playing their best, not having career years, and a lot of it is in their starting pitching staff. Valdez is not having the best year. Javier is not having the best year. So I think there is legitimate concern that the pitching for Houston just doesn't hold up. And Minnesota's able to win these games, especially because Houston's lineup is not great, but able to win these games 4-1, 4-2. I think they have the pitching to do it. I think they've proven all season they have the pitching to do it. And, Pablo Lopez and Sonny Gray are absolute studs, and I think they're going to be amazing in this series.
Houston finished with a 39-42 home record this year, 51-30 on the road. So I guess you could throw that back in my face. But again, I don't think it's going to be easy to go up to Minnesota and come away with that victory. So that's where I stand on that.
Another
series.
good baseball city getting some good spotlight here.
Minnesota.
Good postseason, yeah. Minnesota getting a spotlight, Baltimore getting a spotlight. Some good baseball cities, obviously here in Philly as well.
We've had some movement in the Dodgers and Diamondbacks, and it went the way that you would expect. The Dodgers are now a big-time minus 215 favorite here for
more.
It
should be minus 250.
Plus 180.
I'm tired of people telling me. Even Mark Henry Jr. last night. Diamondbacks have a chance. They're in this. They are going to get overwhelmed in every way in this series. I think we're talking way too much about the Dodgers pitching staff. I'll worry about them when they have to play the Braves or the Phillies. I'm not worried about their pitching staff when they have to play the Diamondbacks because the Braves are going to hit. I don't care that Gallen's there. I don't care that Merrill Kelly's there. That Dodgers lineup is good, and they are going to mash against Arizona, and Arizona has no way of keeping up. None.
Number moved in your favor on that one. So
because I'm right. We'll see.
And then finally,
I can't wait to see when I'm wrong, and then all these clips get posted on our social media accounts. Can't wait.
Series price for the
Don't
Phillies.
you dare be saving these clips, Bernard.
That's right. Series price for the Phillies plus 145, Braves minus 175. Definitely on the Phillies for the series. And there's some good money to be made on that one. Again, there's a ton of money.
In my mind, why not just take money lines? Because we're seeing now the Braves are going to be overvalued.
Yep.
I mean, they're not being valued on that series line because, yeah, there's a legitimate chance. But then it's funny. Once you get into the actual game lines, then when you can tell what the books really think, because Spencer Strider against Ranger Suarez I'm seeing it move up. I'm seeing it in some places like minus 210. So the Phillies are going to be like a plus 170, plus 175 underdog in game one. I think you're going to see that. You're going to see the Braves be overvalued in these games to the point like the Phillies are going to have to take a home game or a road game.
Yes.
They're going to have to take one.
Yep.
Even when Wheeler pitches the next game on Monday, I don't think they're going to be a favorite. The Phillies are still probably going to be now small, but whoever's pitching for the Braves, I would imagine who's it going to be? Max Fried.
Correct.
So never mind. Max Fried's going to be like a minus 135, minus 140 favorite against Zach Wheeler. So you're going to get the Phillies as underdog in two of these games. In the second game, it's probably going to be a plus 110, plus 115. And in this game, it's a plus 170. Why not try and roll both of them together instead of taking the plus 145? Because the Phillies are going to be big home favorites. I mean, Aaron Nola is probably going to be a minus 130, minus 140 favorite.
Yep.
It's not going to be huge. I just think it's worth taking these games individually more than just taking the series line.
It does make sense. It does make sense from the standpoint of, the money to be made there. And if you do vibe with the Phillies and you think they're going to take that series, why not take them on the money line?
Especially, I mean, it'll be very profitable if they win the big money line dogs. Like if they win game one,
yep,
you're already doing better than that series line right away. And then if you continue to bet them in the right spots, you're going to beat that series line by a mile.
We are live here on Main Street, Manayunk, and I'll tell you what, very active Main Street today. A little of everything out here today.
You said, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, the Freaks were out.
Freaks.
Yeah, even though none of them were. I mean, what this time? What are you seeing this time?
The Freaks are out.
Oh, my, what do you mean?
Joke.
Is everybody just a freak to you?
Yeah, you know it is. I'm old.
What am I to you, then?
I'm old. I'm an old man. I'm washed up. No, we are live. We are live on Main Street, MyPhilly.House. Once again, our home away from home every football Friday, painting the town red for the Fighting Phillies. Once again, if you missed it, the start times were announced a little earlier today. Game 3, 5 o'clock. Game 4, 6 o'clock. Both games being played at Citizens Bank Park. All right, I said it was a football Friday, so let's do that on the other side. Let's talk about the Birds and the Rams. And there was a big-time announcement from the Rams' perspective. I think we were all knew it was coming, but it's official. I'll tell you what that was and whether or not that's going to have an impact on Sunday's game, that the Eagles are slight favorites in. Well, a little bit more than a slight. They're 4.5 favorites. That's a little bit more. A slight,
yeah, that's not a slight.
Slight's 2.
That's a pretty big, well,
1.5.
Especially on the road.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big favorite. That's
yeah.
significant favorite.
Yeah. We'll debate on whether or not the Rams are the side. And of course, we'll talk all things props, totals, you name it, all of the above, and all the information you need to know to make yourself a better when it comes to the Birds and the Rams. It's right here. The Daily Ticket live on Main Street in Manayunk from MyPhilly.House. Once again, Joe Tan's going to join us at 5:05. We'll talk all things college football with Joe. Sean Brace, Jon Jansen, back after this.
Get ready to experience the excitement.
It is the 13th year of the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The emotions.
Love you guys. I'm so happy to be here tonight.
The surprises.
Are you ready for another I can't believe it moment?
The superstars.
Such an amazing honor to share a stage with so many unbelievable artists.
And of course, the music. Relive the greatest moments from the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
You will not want to miss.
Starting Tuesday, streaming only on Hulu.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Busy on the Schuylkill, westbound Jan, University Divine, Boulevard to Belmont, and Gladwood to Contact, and eastbound heavy Bluebird to Belmont. Then stop and go Montgomery Drive to South. Divine Expressway tied up both ways. Schuylkill to Broad, 95 northbound backed up. Allegheny to Bridge, southbound 95, heavy between Woodhaven and Coppin, and then Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry. The Bluebird southbound Jan St. David's to media Swarthmore, northbound stacked up 95 past McDade. All right, Tortella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Getting you ready for all of the weekend's action. It's sports here, there, and everywhere. With Vic Girardi and Mike Kern live from the Parks Casino Sportsbook.
And this Lillard trade is just another example of, and a huge example of this, of the East continually growing and getting better.
Yep.
And the Sixers are still stagnant. And they're always going to be a 4 or 5 team. And the most frustrating part is they don't have assets to make themselves better.
Yeah, no,
they're just stuck in this purgatory of like
You can find the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce by visiting our website at philahispanicchamber.org or following us in our social media channels with our handle GPHCC.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Every hole, every player, every event. Nobody does PGA Tour coverage like the crew from Swing It and Ding It.
All right, so we got to get into Joe LaCava because I had no problems with anything right up until the time he went back at Rory while he's crouched over his putt finally. While he was doing it, Rory's walking all around the green like he's not getting ready to putt. Like, I don't know what he said to him to set him off. But then when it's done, it should be done, right? Like, you're the caddy, you shouldn't go back to the player while he's getting ready to make his putt. But then it explodes. Lowry comes down. He's screaming back at Lowry. Bones is trying to be the peacemaker. He took a lot of shrapnel just for being the peacemaker. But just a wild, wild scene.
It had to be temporary insanity. If I'm Joe LaCava, who's got a great reputation prior to this, because he looked like a damn fool. I mean, with the stupid hat. I mean, come on,
waving
bro.
like he's Mr. America.
Right, it's not about you.
What are you
okay?
doing? Yeah.
Go back to Jack Nicklaus. Show up, keep up, and shut up.
Listen to the Swing It and Ding It podcast every week on the iHeartRadio app.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
The Daily Ticket with Sean Brace on the drive home and the line change with Jon Jansen at 9. This is The Gambler.
We are live on Mainstream Manayunk Football Friday. Pinkertown Red, baby. Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Sean Brace Jon Jansen coming up. 5:05. Joe Tanzi. He'll join the party.
Boo, Joe Tanzi. Boo.
Talk some college football. See if we can get some winners. And
his Braves losing.
Yeah.
You seen this mascot stuff going on?
It's weird.
Why is the Braves mascot in the mud?
Why are people
get out of the mud?
Why are people tweeting a mascot?
Because it's funny.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's funny because the mascot's tweeting back. Why are you tweeting back? Just let it go.
Yeah,
you're not losing. You're not winning that one.
It's a mascot.
It's only a losing battle for you.
It's very weird, but it's very 2023 where people are tweeting a mascot.
Can you imagine that headline?
And people are getting upset by it too. It's like really weird.
Wait, who's getting upset?
I don't know. You see it all over on there. All right.
Not upset. I mean, the Braves mascot's in it right now, in the deep end.
Is he?
He's feeling it. Feeling it. That bud's going through it.
Blooper?
Poor guy. Yeah, blooper.
So odd. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Birds.
It's a terrible name for a mascot, by the way.
It's a dumb mascot, period. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what we got going on Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles and the LA Rams, and it looks like a lot of people are on their way out there, of course, today. Green Legion Radio will be live. Yes.
Hey.
Big deal for
You going
us.
out there, Brace?
No, actually.
I thought you were going. You told me you were going.
I did, and then I went to Vegas and probably spent every dollar I had saved up for LA. But we got actually some extra programming coming your way on Sunday because of the late kickoff. So we're excited about that. First of all, baseball brunch with Chris Sack and Greg Murphy. That's going to be airing at 10 a.m. I'm not sure if Murph's going to be on this one or not, but you'll be able to catch baseball brunch with Chris Sack and company at 10. At 11 o'clock, you will hear Countdown to Payout presented by Mall Chevy with myself and Jon Jansen. And we are going to 1 o'clock, so 11 to 1. And then making his debut on the microphone for us is a solo host, Sean Bernard, and he's going to be on in the afternoon. We're thinking probably 2 o'clock there. And 3 o'clock, we are going to be live once again with Green Legion here. No. That's what it was. I knew it. So I apologize. 1 o'clock, Green Legion.
Forget everything you just heard.
Legion live from LA from 1 to 2 p.m.
Yes.
Sean Bernard 2 to 3. And then us back
3
again.
to 4.
3 to 4 from Hard Rock in downtown Center
You
City.
did it. Well done. Sean Brace, the program director, knows the schedule of the station. He knows the programming.
I knew I was forgetting something. I'm like, wait a
You're
minute.
hurting today. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
I gotta address this. Your vibes are low. It's a red October.
No.
Okay, it's a red October. The Eagles are 4-0, about to go to Los Angeles, play a big time road game
I'll tell you straight
against
up.
the Rams.
I will.
We got one of the best weekends ahead of us. 2 Phillies games, an Eagles game, and you're just my back hurts.
Yeah, it's because of my back.
My back is killing me. We were out too late last night.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
trap.
We were out. We were home. I was home by 11:15, 11:10. I wasn't out late.
Yeah, but we were working late.
Yeah,
we
we
were
were
out there late.
We had
It was
ourselves
a bit of a hike.
Look, I think it's a combination of everything. But I will tell you,
My back hurts.
yeah, all right, dude. You get yourself a bad back. And
What do you mean? I'm a gamer. I have terrible posture. There are back issues left and right for me.
yeah, I mean that's the issue right now. Where I'm like, hang on, I don't know what's going on, but I worked out today, and maybe I tweaked something again. But
You're unbelievable.
I can't get out of my own way sometimes.
Do you realize the Phillies are playing a division series game against the Braves tomorrow?
Yes. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Look,
Right.
today is
It's a big day.
I'm not moving today. When I get done here, I'm going home, relaxing, probably order some wings, kick
Oh,
it.
where from?
Yeah, dude, I've been in such a wing kick.
Every time football season comes around, I don't stop.
Dude.
I'm pretty sure I've had wings at least once a week since football started. I can't stop.
We smashed like 40 of them last
It was
night.
amazing. I know they kept coming out. I was like, how many times have we ordered wings? And she kept just coming out with plates full. Where's her name, man? Dominique. She's doing an excellent job for us
Yes,
at
she
Trap
did.
Tavern. So shout out to her. But yeah, I just kept seeing wings and wings and wings. I was like, who's gonna eat all those? And then I realized we ate all of those. There wasn't a wing left. Not one.
How funny was it last night that everyone kept hounding us for free stuff?
Shirts. People like shirts. They love
And
shirts.
those shirts were nice. I was
Oh,
about,
they were
I was about to
fantastic.
take the one off Bernard's back and give it right to the lady. I'm like, all right, dude, like leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, lady was crazy.
Thank you for staying, but leave me alone.
So, Miller Lite, if you didn't have an opportunity, we're live. We were live last night on all things socials. We got pictures up over on Instagram. You can check it out. Look, we all been in bars before where you get these free T-shirts and like you never want to wear them, but those shirts last night, the Miller Lites, thirsty birds drink Miller Lite. I mean, it's pretty.
I had the best thing. I had the pullover on with a little Fly Eagles Fly, a little good midnight green silver stripe.
Yep. Really
great.
nice. Really nice gear. A lot of people were hounding us. Hey, can I get that shirt? Can I get that hat? Da, da, da,
Oh, the
da.
Miller Lights were great too. Shout out Miller Lite. That was a good time.
Yes, it was a great time. Great time up at the Trap Tavern. All right, let's get on over to the Birds and the Rams here and talk a little bit more about this game in length. First of all, with 4-point spread, like how dangerous are the LA Rams? We know how good the Philadelphia Eagles are. What do we know about the LA Rams for certain right now?
That they have veteran experience and also very good play at the right spots. Right, the interior defensive line with Aaron Donald. You have a great coach who's still, mastermind. That's the thing about the Rams. The roster maybe is the best, but Sean McVay legitimately is still one of the best play callers in the league, maybe the best, other than like Kyle Shanahan and now at this point McDaniel. But McVay is crushing it. He's making a guy like Puka Nacua look like a star. He's 4 or 5 games into his NFL career at a BYU nobody's ever heard of, and this guy's a star. And Matthew Stafford, another guy at an important position, playing extremely good football. The numbers may not show it with his touchdown-interception ratio. He's played a couple of really tough defenses. One of the toughest defenses in the league was San Francisco. So this is just a team that's battle-tested, veteran experience at the right places. It's a tough battle. Does it mean the Rams are a team that you can't beat? No, you can beat the Rams, and I think they should beat the Rams, but it just makes it a tough game to do so. The Rams are going to probably play well. Can you beat them even when Stafford's throwing for 300, even when Sean McVay's in his bag against the Eagles defense, who we know now, maybe not great in the secondary, and the injuries in the secondary aren't going well? It will be a tough test. It's one they should win, though. Like, this isn't a tough test that, this is too much for them to win on the road. If they want to be considered still one of the best teams in football, you still win games like this, and I think they should.
Well, they're 4-0, so let's not pretend that they're going to go 17-0 here, and it's a road game.
But
they are a little wounded when it comes to the secondary. They just gave up a boatload of yards to DC. I would say that the passing attack is probably a little bit better towards the Rams, just from the standpoint of the skill players and on top of Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford.
And I don't want to diminish. Stafford is playing unbelievable football right
on
now.
the turf too, at
very
home.
well. Yep.
But here's another question you have to ask yourself: how much of the home field advantage is going to be real? Now we know when the Chargers play there, but the Eagles are rolling out deep. Like Quimby told me that the
Eagles are going to be the majority fan base there.
This trip was sold out in like August, I think.
Yes.
Right.
This is going to be majority Eagles fans at that game.
Cooper Kupp is coming though. He's playing.
How many snaps? How effective? I don't know. I mean, for me, that offense has to still run through Puka at this point, at least, until Cooper Kupp is 100% healthy. I mean, it adds another wrinkle, but the thing is, and Sean McVay could probably use these guys in any way, but Puka Nacua is effectively taking the Cooper Kupp spot. Like, he's running the routes and being utilized in that offense the way Kupp is. So, can those two exist at the same time on the field? It's not like Kua's a burner on the outside, and he's going to be their A.J. Brown. I mean, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are essentially the same wide receiver. So who do you want to take away from?
Ooh.
I mean, I guess they can coexist. You're such a smart offensive coordinator that they probably can be on the field at the same time.
Correct, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, they're essentially the same receiver. They're very redundant. And usually you don't want to have two guys that are slot receivers on the field at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely, an extra wrinkle added to it. It'll be his first game, the expectations. And I'm normally aggressive when it comes to these type of deals where it's like Alvin Kamara, perfect example. All in with Alvin Kamara, last week. Now, did he deliver? How many catches did he have last week?
Who?
Kamara.
I'm not sure. I know he had a bunch.
Dude.
Because I remember seeing it early that, he's involved.
He didn't have much as far as on the ground, if anything. Let's see here. He had 11 carries for 51 yards. And I'm telling you, he had a boatload of catches. Receptions. Did he have 13 grabs? Is that correct? 13 receptions.
It's pretty good.
Unbelievable. So here, my point is, like, when it comes to these type of players in these situations, I'm most of the time going to push them in and say, you know what, they're playing, they're healthy, and then most of the time that's put you on the right side too as well. Whether it's fantasy, whether it's prop bets. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be a perfect 10 for 10, but if these guys are healthy enough to go, like a Montgomery the other night on Thursday Night Football, everyone's second guessing themselves. No, he's playing. So if he's available, he's going to get the rock. He's not going to be in a pitch count, and he delivered for everybody. I think Cooper Kupp, same thing here.
Could deliver. Yeah, I get it.
And all right, if you want to double team him and you want to treat him as if it's Cooper Kupp from 2 years ago, when he had the unbelievable season, even in his limited availability last year, he was having a pretty good year.
He's having a great year, yeah.
Yeah.
When he was healthy, yeah.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, when he's on the field, he's still amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. But I think all right, so first of all, there's nothing on DraftKings Sportsbook as far as his props are concerned.
Yeah, that's probably going to wait until they get. I mean, you're probably going to get a practice report today that'll essentially say if he's in, so you might see props. But, I mean, that's going to essentially wait till Cooper Kupp because that changes everything.
On DraftKings, they don't have anything for Cooper. Now, I also think that would play into Puka and a lot of whether you're talking about Higbee, Williams out of the backfield, it's either Puka. I'm trying to think. Do they got another receiver out there?
Puka, Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell, there you
that
go.
they drafted. I mean,
that was the one I was trying to think of.
one of those guys are not going to get it. Tutu's been playing more the outside.
But my point is, I would wait until you get the numbers up for Cooper Kupp because that everything's got to get adjusted.
Oh, right, because Puka's numbers are going to go down, then Tutu Atwell's numbers are going to go down. Yeah, it's a domino effect once Kupp is on there.
Is it about the rain again?
Is it?
I don't know.
It doesn't look good.
We have been striking out. This is now round 3 for us in a row here, and it's raining again.
Is it raining? I don't think it's raining.
I don't know.
I think you're jumping the gun a little bit there.
The cloud is over our head. So
I know it got a lot darker.
And
yes,
and either you might have spit on me, or I thought I felt.
I probably spit on you.
Okay.
Whoops.
All right. Look, from the standpoint of the Birds, there are a lot of people out there that think that Stafford is going to have a big day. Roy and I were actually talking about it last night because we needed to pick up a quarterback with Justin Herbert on the bye. So we looked at, of course, Matthew Stafford and also looked at Jared Goff. Now, I went with Goff because I want no part of rooting for Matthew Stafford picking.
I know. The thing is, I love Matthew Stafford this week just because the Eagles secondary is banged up and they throw all the time. I know they're probably going to get Kyron Williams involved a little bit. But Sean McVay, once he sees the run not working, which is probably not going to work that well against the Eagles, he's going to abandon that so fast.
Yeah, I would stay away from all things for Williams. I want no part.
Completely. I want no part of that Rams backfield. But that means Stafford's probably going to drop back like 45, 50 times.
Yep.
And, I mean, he's already done that before. He did that against the 49ers. They had to throw a bunch because they were down, and they're probably going to be down in this game because the Rams defense isn't good, and the Eagles are going to score. I mean, it's going to be Matthew Stafford and that Rams passing attack the entire game.
Stafford 274.5 minus 115.
That's it?
Yeah.
Over. Way over. I take the alt. He's going to throw for 300, 315. I think he's going to throw for 350 in this game. I would take the alt. I would take the alt passing props with that. But if it's 270 with Matthew Stafford,
319 against the Colts, 269 against the Bengals, 307 against the Niners, 334 against the Seahawks.
Over.
Yeah, because I don't think they
Mac Jones threw for 300. Sam Howell had over 270 against the Eagles. I mean, it's just a banged up secondary. And again, it's more of the script than anything because even if the Rams only have 20 points, that's still going to be 300 yards for Stafford. This entire offense moves through Stafford in this game. They're going to have to because that's how you beat the Eagles. That's how they're going to try and beat the Eagles. It's not going to be successful, but they're going to try, and that's going to lead to Stafford probably. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Stafford gets close to 400 yards in this game.
Jeez,
I mean,
really?
he's going to throw a bunch, and he's probably going to be successful. I think Stafford, he's definitely going to get in the 300. At least I think that. And, of course, I'm going to be wrong, so don't quote me.
No, I think it's a good play. I think it's a good angle, and I'm all about it, right? Like, we know that this team is not going to play they're not going out there and shutting out the Rams. They're just not.
You can't. Sean McVay's too good.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that everybody was thinking the Rams were going to be terrible because of the roster, but there's a baseline of success that's there with McVay. And especially everybody thought, I don't know everybody, I got to stop saying that, but I mean, there was a thought at least that Stafford might not play well this season. He already seems like he has a foot out on the retirement door, that he's thinking about it, that this is just one last year, run it back, see what happens, but it's probably not going to work out. Stafford's a damn good quarterback, though. And not only he's playing damn good, I think he's been great. I think he's been playing like a top 10, close to like top 7 quarterback in the league. We know he has that kind of talent, and in Sean McVay's offense, man, he's eaten in that offense. And he's going to against the Eagles. So, like, yeah, I think the Rams passing attack is going to have success. It's just the Rams defense is probably going to get shredded.
30-13. They opened up the season with a victory against the Seahawks, followed it up with a loss to the Niners 30-23. Bengals ended up losing that game 19-16 at Cincinnati, and then last week beat the Indianapolis Colts and were up pretty big, and then the Colts scored a bunch of points to make it a little bit close, 29-23. I'm right there with you on the number there. All right, let's go ahead and take another timeout. Once again, coming up at 5:05, we'll have Joe Tansey. We're broadcasting live on Main Street, Manayunk. Let's keep the NFL conversation going. Let's go down the card on the other side, hit on some the other games that will be taking place on Sunday. Do not go anywhere. More Daily Take It back after this.
Every hole, every player, every event. Nobody does PGA Tour coverage like the crew from Swing It and Ding It.
All right, so we got to get into Joe LaCava. because I had no problems with anything right up until the time he went back at Rory while he's crouched over his putt finally. While he was doing it, Rory's walking all around the green like he's not getting ready to putt. Like, I don't know what he said to him to set him off. But then when it's done, it should be done, right? Like, you're the caddy, you shouldn't go back to the player while he's getting ready to make his putt. But then it explodes. Lowry comes down. He's screaming back at Lowry. Bones is trying to be the peacemaker. He took a lot of shrapnel just for being the peacemaker. But just a wild, wild scene.
It had to be temporary insanity. If I'm Joe LaCava, who's got a great reputation prior to this, because he looked like a damn fool. I mean, with the stupid hat. I mean, come on,
waving
bro.
like he's Mr. America.
Right, it's not about you.
What are you
okay?
doing? Yeah.
Go back to Jack Nicklaus. Show up, keep up, and shut up.
Listen to the Swing It and Ding It podcast every week on the iHeartRadio app.
The future of joint pain relief is right here in Philly. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Today's news requires more facts, more context, and more analysis. The world's never been harder to understand. That's why it's never been more important to try. MSNBC. Understand more.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new titanium iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month loan financing agreement. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia.
NFL is back, and your free iHeartRadio app is your home for the NFL Podcast Network with full coverage of all 32 NFL teams. Get in-depth analysis from the pros on Around the NFL. Win bragging rights in this year's draft with tips from the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast and more. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
The podcast McCartney, A Life in Lyrics is a masterclass, a memoir, and an improvised journey with the Beatles' Paul McCartney, one of the most beloved figures in popular music. Each episode focuses on a single song, examining the people, experiences, and art that inspired McCartney's legendary songwriting.
I wanted to become a person who wrote songs and someone whose life was in music.
Listen to McCartney, A Life in Lyrics on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos are full of shredded, marinated, all white meat chicken. Choose from 3 dipping sauces: spicy ranch, nacho cheese sauce, and house-made guacamole. Order on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip per 2-pack, 2 dips per 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Cloudy, warm, and very humid this Friday night with a couple of rounds of showers. Even a downpour or a rumble of thunder is not out of the question. Low temperatures in the 60s with an easterly wind. And we start with rounds of showers Saturday morning going into the early afternoon. And then late in the day, we'll start to see some sunny breaks developing far to the west and then working to the east. But the winds will really whip up going into the afternoon out of the northwest 10 to 20, chilling temperatures back down into the 60s. And also winds gusting to 30 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
talking about Sean Bernard. Sean Bernard back on the ones and the twos, our Sixers insider, and of course, the true gambler away, the jack of all trades. He's going to learn it all. He's going to be the next Jansen, setting up all that, making
Probably better.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Oh, thanks, Bryce. Sorry. I mean, I know I'm not good at this.
You set that up. Sean, I want you to hop on the mic, though, if you could, real quick. I did not get a chance to click on this. It was a very good headline. Believe Mike Gill had it from the ESPN station in South Jersey, and he said, I believe the headline was, a new team interested in James Harden. Is that true, number one? And if number two, if it is, who's the team?
It is the Miami Heat is the team in question. And this has been a team that I've been banging the drum for several weeks now.
Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So that's the new report. Again, it's going to be complicated in pretty much any situation. I think it takes a third team. But yeah, the James Harden and Miami Heat makes all the sense in the world from their perspective based on what they lost this offseason.
Yeah, but the culture, though. Culture.
A Harden versus Heat culture is going to be an absolute movie to watch.
James isn't culture ready for the Heat.
So wait, let me back it up. They don't really qualify as a new team, do they? Right? Because like you have had it. You've been on this one from day one, right? You with your connections and everything that you've had. You've been talking about Harden to the Heat for a long time. If Damian Lillard did not go there, of course, that took place last week. So what? It's been Clippers or bust. That's the only other team that's been associated with James Harden?
Pretty much that has been the story. Clippers or bust has been from his perspective. I've really been looking at it from the Dame Lillard slant of the Heat. As much as they want to publicly state that they're not worried about their depth, whatever, they're starting guards right now. Kyle Lowry is expected to be their starting point guard. 37-year-old Kyle Lowry is expected to be their starting point guard. And they really had all their eggs in this Damian Lillard basket. And once they missed out of him when he got shifted to Milwaukee, they have to shift gears and look at another target. James Harden is one of the few all-star caliber guard on that borderline guys on the market right now. So it makes sense for the Heat. I get that he does clash with the personality and I guess structure of the overall franchise there. But from a basketball perspective, it makes a lot of sense for what they need.
Yeah, that is interesting because we all want it to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. He hasn't addressed the media yet. What's the latest there? Do we expect James Harden to talk to the media anytime soon?
As little as he possibly can is, I believe, the expectation. I think Harden's doing a pretty good job right now of staying in his lane, just showing up, taking care of business, and that is with the intent of being traded. I think there was some common sense that kind of hit him that he's not going to help his case by causing a stink here. The fact that he's understanding that, to me, I'll look at positively, but I think he's going to stay out of the media as much as possible.
Are things uncomfortable yet? Are you uncomfortable? Anyone uncomfortable?
The weird part about it is it seems like the vibes are pretty high. Outside of like the ongoing summer and all the reports and everything that went out, like actually in the building, it seems like everything is good. Everyone's buying into Nick Nurse, which is awesome to see. So Harden's still the biggest question mark, but for the most part, things have been much more stable than I expected within the Sixers right now.
All right. Well, yeah, on to the new. And we got a new season that's about to tip off coming up here at the end of October. We got preseason basketball
Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
That's disgusting.
ESPN.
That's gross.
ESPN had
Get
it
that
on their ticker.
I don't need any of
LeBron James will not play in the Lakers.
I don't care who
preseason
plays in the
opener.
preseason. Sean Bernard could play in the preseason opener. I don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I was cracking up about the LeBron James won't play in the preseason.
We're in the middle of a Phillies postseason run, and the Eagles are 4-0, and you want me to care about preseason basketball?
Nobody asked you to care.
I'll care December 25th.
That's a little harsh.
Even if
you got the in-game tournament this year, in-season tournament.
Oh, fantastic. Can't wait. I'm sure that's going to be just exciting as the Leagues Cup in MLS, which I had such a fun time watching that every player absolutely loved playing in. Yeah, you know what? This is a great idea for the NBA. Good for them.
I'm excited.
Terrible idea.
I'm excited. I want to see what Nick Nurse has. I'm excited about the fresh new, like that. There's a new vibe with this team, and and
don't fall for the trap, Brace. They're going to lose in the second round, and we're going to do this all over again.
Whatever. I like Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse is awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
That's fine. I don't like the rest of the team.
I like Tyrese Maxey. I like Joel Embiid. I like scoring points. I think this team's going to score. I think they're going to play good defense. They're going to win games, man. They're going to win games.
Great. Can they win in the playoffs?
When did the playoffs start? July, June, May? All right, we got a long way till we get there. Until then, enjoy the ride, as they say.
But like, I don't know. Why do I feel like the bad guy for feeling like, hey, we've done this for years now?
You don't.
Why do I got to be invested in a team that just continues to fail?
You're not the bad guy because everybody feels like you.
I mean, we should. That's how you should feel about them. That you should feel like the Sixers have been a disappointment, and it's going to take a lot for me to be invested in that disappointment. It's going to take a lot. Last year was, you know what? One more year. I'll give them one more year to do this. They didn't do it, and they did. I mean, failed in a spectacular Sixers fashion, and you want me to get excited about Nick Nurse changing that around? I'm not excited for it. Not even a little bit.
Me and you, Sean Bernard. Me and you. Eye to eye.
Oh, yeah. I'll be ready.
All right.
You already are.
Yeah, I'm already ready.
You maniac.
Bring it on. All right. Coming up on the other side, Joe Tanz is going to join us, and we'll talk some college football, get his thoughts on the college card. We got 2 games going off tonight. Decent games, so we'll see if he's got a play or 2 there. But the big ones are going off tomorrow, including Georgia, number 1 overall, Georgia against Kentucky, 14.5-point spread. I'm taking the dog here. We'll find out if there's a dog with some bite, according to Joe Tanzi, who was really high last week on Georgia against Auburn. We'll find out if he's changed his tune about them dogs down in Georgia. Don't go away. Daily Ticket live on a Football Red Friday. Main Street, Manayunk, MyPhilly.House. Back after this.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Nothing too awful for the Friday drive home, just a lot of volume. We're channeling Blue Route southbound St. David's immediate Wildflower and north on 95 past McDade. 95 northbound stopping go Allegheny up to Bridge. Then heavy Coppin up past Woodhaven from an earlier disabled vehicle. South of 95, so Woodhaven to Coppin. Then further south backed up Ridley Park to the Commodore Barry. Westbound Schuylkill, Jan, University to Juarton, Boulevard to Belmont, so Glad with a Conjock, and eastbound heavy Blue Route to Belmont, then bumper to bumper Boulevard to South. All right, Tortella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
It's Ellie Kemper, co-host of the podcast Born to Love, with some straight talk for Walmart shoppers. Walmart is the place to go for savings. And now you can save even more with Straight Talk Gold or Platinum Unlimited wireless plans. You'll get unlimited 5G data and a free Walmart Plus membership, which includes free delivery from your local Walmart store, savings on gas, plus so much more. Not to mention my new nickname, Savvy McSaver Cash. Switch or learn more today at Walmart or StraightTalk.com.
Requires active service. One offer per eligible Straight Talk account. Standard data usage applies. For Walmart Plus, $35 order minimum for free delivery. Restrictions apply. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let our professional parts people test your battery for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit no.com.
Sponsored by Squid and Fly.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Bring smiles to all when shopping online with Dell Technologies Gift Guide. Whether it's for the artist, the entrepreneur, the student, or the streamer, you'll find the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Dell.com/gift guide makes gifting easy with a carefully curated selection of our best tech. Shop now to explore our innovative PCs like the XPS 13 laptop, powered by the latest Intel Core processors, plus this season's top accessories. Visit Dell.com/gift guide today to get a jump on your holiday gift list. That's Dell.com/gift guide.
Klein tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece Mod Box mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
What's up, people? This is Cam Jordan, all-pro defensive end with the New Orleans Saints. Join me on my new podcast, Off the Edge with Cam Jordan.
There's pressure and he'll go down. And that is going to be Cam Jordan. They can't stop it.
In episodes each week, I'll bring you a different perspective of the game through the lens of my 12-plus years in the NFL. Some of the game's biggest stars will also join me to help you become a smarter football fan. Listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Every hole, every player, every event. Nobody does PGA Tour coverage like the crew from Swing It and Ding It.
All right, so we got to get into Joe LaCava because I had no problems with anything right up until the time he went back at Rory while he's crouched over his putt finally. While he was doing it, Rory's walking all around the green like he's not getting ready to putt. Like, I don't know what he said to him to set him off. But then when it's done, it should be done, right? Like, you're the caddy, you shouldn't go back to the player while he's getting ready to make his putt. But then it explodes. Lowry comes down. He's screaming back at Lowry. Bones is trying to be the peacemaker. He took a lot of shrapnel just for being the peacemaker. But just a wild, wild scene.
It had to be temporary insanity. If I'm Joe LaCava, who's got a great reputation prior to this, because he looked like a damn fool. I mean, with the stupid hat. I mean, come on,
waiting
bro.
like for America.
Right, it's not about you.
What are you
okay?
doing? Yeah.
Go back to show up, shut up.
Listen to the Swing It and Ding It podcast every week on the iHeartRadio app, getting you ready for all of the weekend's action. It's sports here, there, and everywhere with Dick Girardi and Mike Kern live from the Parks Casino Sportsbook.
And this Lillard trade is just another example of, and a huge example of this, of the East continually growing and getting better, and the Sixers are still stagnant, and they're always going to be a 4 or 5 team, and the most frustrating part is they don't have assets to make themselves better.
Yeah,
they're just stuck in this purgatory of like mediocrity.
They used
on the East.
they used all the assets and blew it. They kept getting older and older and older. Now they're really
I think it's just evident more and more that they.
Yeah, I mean, they blew it. Whatever chance they had to make this work, they blew it in the draft. They blew it in trades. They blew it in free agency. Now they're only going back at this point.
If you're listening to this, your weekend is already a winner. It's sports here, there, and everywhere with Dick Girardi and Mike Kern, live from the Parks Casino Sportsbook. Your home for Villanova basketball is WDAS and WD27 Fox Sports Radio Philadelphia. Line change with Jon Jansen at 9. This is the game.
Terrible move. That's a really bad move.
That's a great move.
I don't know.
Boys are out running around those strips here on the Main Street.
I get my workout in.
That's the last time you ran, let alone with a shirt on. Last time you actually exercised / treadmill ran.
Actually, I was different. Because I've like run
for the
because,
cops?
Yeah, I know run like because I'm late for something. Like I gotta get something to do. So I run. But exercise probably in like a few years. It's been a while.
Wow.
I'm a busy man. I got no time for that.
Go get that cholesterol check.
Yeah, thank you. I drink water, all right?
Thank you.
Yeah, my water's great. Philadelphia teams are good now, so my cholesterol's fine. The occasional wing might not help, but everything else is good.
It is a pink red football Friday on mainstream anthem. You know, it's always fun to watch. Watch up. It's a great location for us as we're live on my
There's a lot of great
House.
calls.
Did you see that girl that park just pulled out? She was bumping. She was bumping and grinding. Now I understand if you're not rubbing, you're not racing. Man, those love for the cars that are parked behind you. She bumped back.
The thing is,
pulled up,
it's not even that small of a spot.
No,
It's a pretty big spot. She's parking
she
in.
did not.
Zero care.
All right, let's head out to the camera hotline. And always great to hear from Joe Tanzi. He joins us right now, busier than ever. Of course, Union closing up shop, winding down the regular season, and snapping the fingers, starting another one, and who knows what other games we added on. Also, college football all over at NFLBleachReport.com. And
also,
as we've been talking about a few times, our resident Braves fan.
Boo!
Joe
Boo,
Tanzi?
Joe Tanzi.
Gambler Hotline. Hello, sir.
Hello. I'm glad I got that welcome. I expect nothing less from you two.
That's right. That's right. We'll save the best for
First
last.
the mascot, now Joe Tanzi. Get after them all. Get them. Get them. Get all the Braves fans.
We'll.
I'm not as
What'd you say, Joe? You broke up a little bit there.
I'm not as vicious as the mascot.
All right. Hey, look, we'll come back to the Braves. We'll get your thoughts on the series. Of course, game 1 tomorrow. But I want to start with this, and this was a big news topic from the Philadelphia Union's perspective, and you were up there today at Jim Curtin's press conference, and it's, you know, look, it frustrated me to read it, to hear it. We've known about Kai Wagner and what his future is going to hold with the Philadelphia Union. But, you know, when Jim Curtin gets up there and says he's the best left back in the league, number one, is that true? Is that factual? And number two, how upset should Union fans be? Because this team's making good money. The place is packed. The team is winning. If he's the best left back in the game, how do you allow him to leave your team?
Value. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Look, on the surface, yeah. Should they pay Kai Wagner? Yeah, I think everyone's in agreement that should happen. And yeah, he is. I mean, he's proven over the last 3 or 4 years that he is the best left back in the league. But there's so many parts of this web that need to be untangled for it to make sense. I mean, he's put his name out there, whether, you know, mostly through his agents in previous years, and no one's come calling for him. And that's been made clear. The Union have never been a club to block a player's move to Europe. So the fact that never happened is concerning. And he becomes a free agent at the end of this year. And if he stays within MLS, he can only increase his salary by 15% because of the way the CBA is written if he moves to another team. So it comes down to a numbers thing. You know, the Union, and look, league-wide, they value left back to a certain number, and he's already getting paid, you know, over $700,000 per year in the first place. And I don't know, it becomes what we have here. I think Kai is trying to show the Union he's got more leverage publicly, but is he doing it the right way? I don't know. Yeah, I think to me, that's something I would handle behind the scenes, but to his credit, he's been a true professional and he's not let this affect him one bit. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. I still think he comes back just because how much of that interest is going to change just because he's a free agent.
So
I don't know.
That ship hasn't sailed yet. You think there's still a chance that he could remain with the Union next year and in years to come?
Yeah, he still wants to be here. He's never once said he doesn't want to be here. In fact, the multiple times he's been asked about in the last 2 months, he said he wants to be here. It's a numbers thing right now with money. The Union will only pay him so much. He thinks he's worth more, and we're at a contract negotiation impasse. Like these things happen all the time in every sport. It's just when they become public, we care about them more, right? Like if this is going on behind the scenes and we didn't know much about it, and then in October, or November, we're like, oh wow, this still hasn't been resolved. I think it becomes different, but because it's been so public, and both sides are kind of have put their stake in the ground at this point, like, I don't know, there's nothing new. I can tell you that.
No,
it's just more of the same. And if you're the union, and I threw this out there today while I was down there, if you're the union and you've seen what you've done with Kai Wagner, who was pulled from the third division in Germany, literal obscurity,
mm-hmm.
and you've turned him into the best left back in MLS, and your focus is development, and you have a guy in Nathan Harriel, a developmental prospect still, who just played a really, really good match at left back in place of the suspended Kai Wagner the other night. And if you tell him go work on your offense in the offseason and he puts it in, who's to say they won't be better off in the long term by just developing another player at the position like they've proven they can do? So, like, I don't know. It just feels like the stakes are in the ground. It's going to come down to the players, what the monetary demands are. And if you're the union, as much as the fans are going to say that the union are cheap, yada, 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 well, they have a plan in place and they trust that plan. They're going to follow through with it no matter what anybody thinks.
It's just tough to hear the head coach say that, right? And then it's like, man, we just want a championship, just want to taste that championship one time. And if he's the best player at that position in the league and they're going to lose him because we all know the almighty dollar controls all. Look, we don't know what the finish line is, right? As far as, if he gets a Jason Worth deal, right? When Jason Worth left the Phillies, he got 127, if I'm not mistaken, from the Nationals. And there was no way the Phillies were going to even come close to that. So we all understood everything. You bit your lip and you were like, it sucks.
Yeah, but I think Joe's right in that what team is going to, overpay.
Well, that's my point.
Because you're going to overpay. Because what Kai Wagner, what you're essentially saying, Joe, is he's asking to be overpaid for his position value, right?
Yeah, and the CBA only allows him to make 15% more if he moves to another MLS team as a free agent. That's written in the collective bargaining agreement. So he can't make he could eventually, but not initially, make a significant amount more than probably what he's already demanding from the union. So it becomes, does he go back to Europe? Does anybody in Europe pay him that much? Is he comfortable with not playing for a team that is going to play for titles? Because let's be honest, he's a middle to lower tier team type guy in Europe. So yeah, it's just very, I don't know, it just could feel like in a way he's overplaying his hand, but I get why he's doing it.
Yeah. Hey, one more on the MLS/Union. Once again, Joe Tanzi, fantastic coverage. Nobody does it better. Be sure to subscribe to his Substack. You can find all of his content on his socials over at JTanzi90. Pretty good podcast as well with some dude by the name of Jon Jansen.
Oh, that guy stinks.
Union Soccer Podcast. That is available on our website at foxphogambler.com. Pat Noonan is his name, right? He's the head coach of Cincinnati, correct?
Correct.
He had a statement.
Heard that name before.
He had a statement the other day where he was talking about the supporter shield and how, I'm paraphrasing here, but if I'm not mistaken, it was something along the lines of like MLS fans value the supporter shield more than the MLS Cup.
I'll tell you what, as an MLS fan myself, nope.
Yeah,
I think that MLS Cup feels much better than the supporter shield because I'm still waiting for that MLS Cup.
I wouldn't know what to say because I don't have it, but we were pretty damn close last year and we did win the supporter shield. I'm just wondering, has that changed for you, Joe? Does he have a point? Did I get it right from the paraphrasing standpoint? And where's this conversation now going? Does he have momentum on his side, or is this simply, hey, I'm putting my back up against the wall because we just won the supporter shield, so I want to flex a little bit here? What was your take on that?
No, I mean, it's been a sentiment for a few years now. I mean, that's not a new sentiment. It's coming from a different voice. But Look, the
I
playoffs
didn't really
are
hear that
crapshoot.
here. I didn't really hear that here. When
Well,
we
it was
won the
mentioned.
Supporters Shield, it was never.
It was never that.
It was
yeah.
never that.
It
was
felt like a stepping stone into you got a trophy. Now go get the actual trophy.
I
the one
just
you
remember
want.
point blank us saying
They also won.
it's the
They
MLS
also won the
Cup.
Supporters Shield in the COVID year.
What is that like? I don't know. I mean, I know that schedule was a lot different. I knew that schedule was different.
Right. They won it. They won it in a COVID year, so that's kind of not comparable to what the 2023 because
that's true.
They played
That's
the
fair.
Revolution 7 times.
But that's not even what we're
fair.
saying. I always felt like when we were talking about it, it's always that was a stepping stone. That's your first trophy. Get the other trophy, like the main trophy you won, and that you're striving for is the MLS Cup. Trophies matter, but like that's the one you
It's
want.
never been about anything other than the
I always-
MLS
right.
Cup for me. For me, and
At least,
and
yeah, it
that's
felt like
the
for
way-
me too.
Yeah.
Every other soccer league in the world, the league winner that's the most coveted. There's no playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I think the way you should approach the conversation is maybe think about it from like soccer as a global perspective and not just American sports.
Well, that's my
Because-
question.
This is
an American sport,
But my question is, are we moving into that direction? Because nobody was saying this. And again, you're right. It was different. It was different, much different. The teams that you played. And look, I'm all about it. If the MLS wants to say, hey, we need to put more emphasis on the regular season, great. Let's play everybody once. Let's do it.
Wait,
like
you mean the regular season that they absolutely lit on fire with this Leagues Cup thing?
I'm kind of confused, and I didn't know. Yeah, look, it's about the cup. I want to win a damn MLS Cup.
Well, I mean, look at what they've done to the playoffs. The quarterfinals is a best of 3 format, and then the semifinals, the conference final, and MLS Cup are one-off games. Like that's kind of a BS format. They've switched it around so many times. I mean, half of each conference gets in. It could really be a crapshoot. Whereas the sustainability point of being the best team over 34 games, there's definitely merit to it. It's definitely something that has permeated throughout the MLS discussion for quite some time. Like, I guess because he said it, it's come out, and there's more debate about it now. But this isn't a new thing. This is something that certain people online really do think, and I really don't have an opinion on it either way. But I can see the discussion because I've seen MLS Cup playoffs, and usually the best teams don't survive. It really is a crapshoot, and it becomes
that's almost all American sports. Like that's the thing that's tough for me is like your audience is American. Like I get it globally, it's different, but like the MLS is never going to make that work in that way. That Supporters Shield is always going to be the #1 trophy because it's never going to be looked that way unless they take the playoffs away.
Correct.
But they're never going to do that because the playoffs make them money.
Yeah. No,
they're not going to do that.
No, I'm with you.
So like we are trained. Like I'm sorry, the global audience is different from the audience that they are attracting, and the MLS audience isn't. I mean, is going to always value playoffs and MLS Cup over Supporters Shield. It's always going to be that way.
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just there's. I think other people view their accomplishments differently, and that's totally fair.
That's true. They should. I mean, they should feel accomplishment.
Well,
That's a
Cincinnati,
trophy.
of course.
That's an absolute
Yeah,
accomplishment. That's a
yeah.
trophy. That's a great trophy to have.
Agreed.
I mean, it's not.
Look,
it's not
man,
the trophy.
We were right there. We were right there. I was thinking about that MLS Cup final the other day, like a good 5 minutes. I was just daydreaming. I'm like, dude, we were
What if they
so
won that?
close to just doing like who knows what, man. We would have had somewhat of a parade, like whether or not it's up at Chester or they would have done like the Villanova concept. I don't know. I don't care. But we would have had so much fun. And it would have raised up our game so much as far as union coverage, but who knows? Hey, it's on to the next, and this team is good enough to win the cup, so we'll see what happens there. Plenty.
It looked like it Wednesday.
Plenty to go as far as the regular season. I think the final regular season game is October 21st. All right, Joe, let's get on over to college football here. Talk about the card. Well, look, we got 2 games tonight, so let me start there with you. DraftKings Sports, what we're getting our numbers from, sir. And as far as the 2 games this evening, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, 11.5-point favorites on the road at OK State. Kansas State is. And then at the 8 o'clock kick, Nebraska and Illinois, 3-point favorites at home. Any thoughts on either one of those games?
I'd rather rub my eyes with sandpaper than watch these games, but it's all we got. Like
It is.
Major League Baseball dropped the bag here and just decided, hey, we're going to start the DS on the weekend and not have any prime Friday scheduling. So now we're stuck with Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Nebraska, Illinois. And God, these games can be ugly. I'm forced into a corner here. I got to watch something tonight. So I'll take OK State plus 11.5, Illinois -3, and go on with my day.
Joe basically just said he would rather be a victim in a Saw movie than watch these games tonight. Like, good God.
Have you watched Nebraska and Illinois play? It might be better.
Say if I watched Saw 10.
so I was
No,
gonna
I have
say.
not watched Saw 10.
This is a strong Olave shirt. I like that shirt right there. Nice, dude. Very nice shirt. That's pretty cool. All right, well, then let's talk about the card tomorrow then. And I want to start with Georgia and Kentucky because last week you guys both laughed at me when I suggested that Auburn could – well, I wasn't suggesting. I asked you, excuse me. I wasn't taking Auburn by no means. But I thought that Georgia was going to blow them out, and it turned out to be a pretty good game. Brock Bowers had to save the day in the fourth quarter. Kentucky's a good team, and they're catching 14.5. Anything there for you on this one and possible upset watch?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think so. Me and John talked about this on the preview pod. I think everyone's perception of these teams, for some reason, changes year over year. Like what you just said is like a perfect example of like somebody who goes into the college football board and just watches Georgia last week and says, "Okay, they slipped up against Auburn. They're not playing their best." And I'm like, all of a sudden you go to like, oh, well, Kentucky could potentially win this game. When has Kentucky ever been a threat to Georgia or any to the top dog in the SEC?
Never.
Right. Exactly. If you look at the last, I don't know how many meetings at this point, like Kentucky hasn't beaten Georgia in over a decade. And the score lines are very lopsided. Like the last two times they played in Athens, 21-0 and 30-13. I think the problem with college football betting, and I understand why, and this applies to Alabama as well this season, is we look at these teams and we over or underreact to these teams based off of like week by week performance. And we see Georgia and we look at what happened in the fourth quarter against Auburn. And we say, oh, well, they needed Brock Bowers to save them against Auburn. In reality, Auburn really only had one good quarter. It was the first quarter. It came out strong at home. If that turnover to start the third quarter, the fumble at like Georgia's 30 doesn't happen, we're having a completely different conversation because Georgia probably runs away with that 14, 21 points, maybe covers the spread. But because that one little instance where Auburn took advantage of it, they hung around longer than they really needed to have any business hanging around for. So I feel like you have to trust like the overall body of work. And in college football, especially, like these teams are what they are and have been what they have been. Like Kentucky, yes, they beat the brakes off of Florida last week, but Kentucky is good for like one or two of those against Florida and Tennessee year over year. They're not good to be trusted in the big game. And obviously, you look at the results between Georgia and Kentucky, it's not even close. Kentucky has a ceiling, and that's okay. Mark Stoops wins 8-9 games a year, goes to a respectable bowl game, and doing that at a basketball school is phenomenal. He's got a job for life. But they lose this game, and I think Georgia, yeah, they haven't been great, but when you get this at home against a Kentucky team that their strength is running the ball, it always has been. And then sometimes they pop in a decent quarterback. But Georgia's defense is its strength. That's never going to change. So I think the long-winded answer is to go bet Georgia at the 14.5 because this game's probably not going to be close.
I like it. All right. How about another game that is featuring one of the better teams in college football, the Ohio State, given 19.5 against Maryland. Any thoughts on that one?
Sean Brace, let me give you some numbers because this is not going to be a good game either. It is going to be probably one of the biggest blowouts of the weekend. And again, this is the product of Maryland being 5-0, and it's pretty nice.
We do this every year with Maryland, though. Every year,
exactly.
it's Maryland's undefeated. Talia Tagovailoa looks great, and then they play Ohio State, and that offense can't move, and Ohio State scores 50, and it's easy.
Yeah, the 8 games that these two teams have played since Maryland joined the Big Ten, Ohio State is 8-0, and they've won by these score lines: 52-24, 49-28, 62-3, 62-14. There was one in 2018 where they went to overtime and won by 1 point. Then they won.
I was at that game. Fantastic game.
73-14, 66-17, and 43-30. And I believe the game last year, Ohio State sleptwalked through because it was in late November. Ohio State's going to just destroy Maryland. Maryland's nowhere close to the class that Ohio State did. And again, this comes down to like looking at this year's records. 5-0 for Maryland doesn't mean anything because they're nowhere close to the stratosphere that Ohio State's in. Ohio State's coming off a bye. I would say maybe if this game came after the week after the Notre Dame game, maybe Ohio State's beaten up a little bit, but Ohio State traditionally blows the doors off of Maryland, whoever their quarterback is, whoever their coach is. And in Columbus, the last 3 times they've played in Columbus, 62-14, 73-14, 66-17. It's a disrespectful spread to Ohio State. 19.5. That's a very easy bet in favor of the Buckeyes.
By the way, Ohio State was able to go to overtime in that game and barely get a win against Maryland because Anthony McFarland had 298 yards rushing. Unless there's a Maryland running back that can do it in this game, I don't think they stand a chance. I think you're.
Yeah, and even then they probably don't.
Yeah. I don't know if running back gets 298 yards on 21 carries. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Marvin Harrison could also have like 245
I know he
yards.
He really could.
Let's get on over to Oklahoma and Texas. 5-point spread in this one. Noon kick. Oklahoma also undefeated. Curious to know your thoughts on this one because I think right now Texas is one of the top 4 teams, and I won't be shocked if they're one of the Final 4 or college football playoff teams after the whole season is done. But let's talk about this game tomorrow. Where do you stand on this one?
Well, there's a reason why they called it the Red River Shootout before they changed it to like the Red River Rivalry or whatever they call it now. This is still the Red River Shootout, and it's still going to be a shootout. The over 60.5 is 1,000% the play here. It'll be a lot closer than last year. I mean, it has to be because Texas won 49-0. So it's got to be closer. Oklahoma, their offense has improved. Their defense is getting there under Brent Venables, but I see this game as Oklahoma wanting to try and let it fly with Dylan Gabriel right away. And again, this is something where let's have another history lesson. Why don't we? It's Friday. I know everybody's out of school by now, but it's time for history class. Oklahoma, in their 4-game winning streak before Texas beat them 49-0 last year, scored 34 or more points in all 4 of those victories. In fact, the winner in each of the last 7 of the last 8 has scored at least 34 points. The loser has gone over 20 8 of the last 9 years, and the exception being Oklahoma being shut out last year. It's a game that breeds points. It's a game that breeds chaos. The over is the play.
Yeah, it's hard to argue on that one because, like you said, what happened last year and whether or not, that's going to play into this year. I think that there's definitely revenge on the mind from Oklahoma, but it's really easier said than done to stop Texas. I think those wide receivers are really talented. So I could see some points and would definitely take the over on this one. I'll probably just be relaxing, and I know that we're kind of split as far as the show is concerned or station's concerned. I've heard people make the case for Oklahoma, maybe people make the case for Texas. So points is good, though, in my mind. All right. Anything on your card? I want to hear your plays. You're locked and loaded on all things college football. Tomorrow it's going to be raining. We're going to be sitting on the couch watching some playoff baseball. What else do you have for us in the college card?
So the biggest spot of them all this week is Notre Dame and Louisville. This is a game Notre Dame should win, right? Like everything points to it. They're going to win this one big. Louisville, nah, not so great. But look at where Notre Dame is at in their schedule. So 2 weeks ago, they played a really emotional home game that went down to the final play against Ohio State. Last week, they flip around, go to Durham, play Duke. That game comes down to the final drive. Sam Hartman has to rescue them. Next week, USC comes to South Bend in what is basically a playoff do-or-die game for Notre Dame. And squeezed right in the middle of it is a primetime 7:30 game on the road against Louisville. You've seen this so many times in college football. It's the perfect spot. It's a look ahead, team fatigue, whatever you want to call it. Notre Dame is right in that spot. They are very vulnerable. I think if you're going to bet Notre Dame Louisville, you bet Louisville at the +6. I'm not going to sit here and say they'll win, but if you look at where Notre Dame is at their schedule, remember, these are, 18 to 24-year-old kids? They're looking ahead to USC, and they're tired. They've just gone through two just absolute grinders of games. Louisville's going to be jacked up for this game. Notre Dame, they've had some struggles moving the ball a little bit. If you're betting that game, it would be Louisville +6 because of the spot, and I think that's where I'm going in that. I don't want to touch the money line, but that's something in terms of top underdogs. Louisville's probably up there this week.
Right there with you on that one, my friend. Hopefully that plays out exactly like you predicted, and we come away with some money there on that one. A green check mark would be nice in that game, especially since I took the bad L last week when all they needed was a field goal, and the next thing you know, boom, they're in the end zone and get the 2-point conversion and come away with from Durham with the cover. All right, let's talk about the playoff baseball series that everybody has their attention on right now. The Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies.
Come on, Joe. Tell them how terrified you are.
Tansy, we want to hear from you, fan. How you feeling?
I'll be honest, I have not thought about the series whatsoever.
Oh, what a lame answer. What a lame answer that is.
All right, well, we appreciate
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, we appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for hopping on, talking all things college football and Union. Game 1 tomorrow, my friend. Buckle up.
The Braves are winning game 1. I think that's stating the obvious.
All right, you gave us something there.
Sure.
And then game 2, game 3, game 4. Is this going 5? What are we looking at here?
I mean, all the baseball romantics want us to go 5, right?
It's definitely the best series. Well, Rangers and Baltimore could be really good too, though.
I mean, if it gets to 5, it's really going to be a battle of attrition. Like, regardless of how you look at it, like the Braves pitching staff is so banged up. The Phillies need something from their guys that aren't Wheeler and Nola, and I could see this entire series being just a bunch of 10-8 games where it's the last man standing on the pitching staff. Like it's going to come down to that. There's going to be some unsung middle reliever who pitches like 3 innings out of their damn mind that swings the momentum in this series. Like that's how it feels. Like I don't think it's going to be decided by Strider, by Wheeler, by Nola. Like these two lineups are just so remarkably good. The Braves have the edge 6 through 9. But it's postseason, anything can happen. So yeah, it's going to be a tight one. I would not be surprised if it goes 5, but I think it's going to be the Brandon Marshes, Orlando Arcias of the world that, your 7-8 hole hitter, your middle reliever that really makes a difference in this series.
All right. Well, it all gets started tomorrow, 6:05 first pitch. Really looking forward to this one. And so is Joe. Don't let him kid you. But
He hasn't thought about it.
we have college football on the card, on the mind. Of course, big weekend here for all things Eagles as well. 4-0 on the road in LA. Joe Tansy, always great to get you on, sir. Good luck on all your plays tonight, and go Phils.
Yeah, go Braves.
Gig 'em.
You the man.
You gotta gig 'em.
A&M, nice. All right, there he is, Joe Tansy on the Gambler Hotline. Always great to get Joe on.
I
here
love
to close up
Manayunk.
shot on a Friday. Football.
Last time I got a bet shouted at us, though, that didn't work out well for
Yeah,
the
it was a
gentleman.
loser. Yeah, it was a loser. First
So,
half total.
maybe not a good look for Gig'em.
All right. Fun show here on a Friday. Always great to be out here in Manayunk, MyPhilly.House. A little earlier today, we were joined by Beef. We talked some college ball mixed up from MLB as well. We're going to play that for you on the other side. Then at 6 o'clock, you got the Divide. 7 o'clock, Tim O'Keefe, balls, bats, and bets. Folks, just to let you know, this weekend we're packed as well. Parks from 9 to 11 tomorrow, followed by Mark Henry Jr., Tough Cover Radio Show. And on Sunday, as I said, at 10 o'clock, baseball brunch, 11 to 1, presented by Mall Chevy, countdown to payout. 1 o'clock, we're heading to L.A. for the pregame show by Green Legion in L.A., and then we will be live, Sean Brace Jon Jansen, we will be live at the Hard Rock downtown from 3 to 4. Coming up next on the Daily Ticket, you're going to hear Beef. Ryan Coyle. Don't go there. More after this.
Get unlimited wireless from Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. Learn more at boostinfinite.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Heads up, traffic scrolling westbound Vine Expressway 95 to the Parkway. There's a disabled vehicle. The center lane is blocked. Eastbound side jam. Schuylkill Pass Broad. Westbound Schuylkill, Stop and Go University to Vine, and Bumper to Bumper Boulevard to Belmont and Gladwood to Conshohocken. Eastbound jam, Blue Ridge to Belmont and Boulevard to South. 95 northbound heavy from the airport to Broad.